Well, good evening. Welcome back to part 10 of my Let's Play of Steins Gate. Live here and exclusive to YouTube, I am your host, Swishbone, for the remainder of the evening. For those of you who've been here before, for the likes of Danganronpa V3, Song of Memories, Final Fantasy VII Remake Demo, Persona 5 Royal, Persona 3 FES, and many, many more. Huge welcome back to all of you, much like Queen, who's jumped in already saying good evening from the chat box. It is open, you can follow Queen's lead. If you want to get your messages in there, I'll do what I can to get through them and read them where I can. But for now, we're going to carry on the chapter Dogma in Event Horizon as we get deeper into the mystery and find out just what's going on. Fingers crossed that Akabe is going to keep his hands off Lukaku. I don't want a repeat of that. As I thought, she's a scientist to the core. I mean, what Aristojack's saying, good evening, feels tired because it's still bright outside, hoping on a nice warm day. It wasn't bad actually. I mean, it is nice and bright. I've actually not got my overhead lights on at the moment, but I get the feeling I'm going to have to turn them on at some point during the stream. Keep watching. Kurisu and Daru go home, leaving me with Mayuri. I thought she was hard at work on her costume, but when I look, I find her staring at the wall. Her hands have stopped moving.
Mayuri?
Mayuri? You're not going home? She usually doesn't stay this late. Her parents might be worried. I was thinking about what Ocarine and Chris-chan were talking about earlier. I was trying to figure out what the things you said meant, but it was all so complicated. I didn't get any of it. The only thing I get is that something amazing is gonna happen. Indeed, the world is about to change, and we shall be the ones to lead humanity into the future. You're shining, Ocarine. Shining? What does that mean? All work and no play makes Jack crazy. You're shining, Chris-chan, too, like two bright stars in the sky. That must be my aura of madness you're sensing. You know, it's been 10 days since Chris-chan joined us. Can I tell you how I've been feeling? Since Chris-chan became a lab man, it feels like things have really started to happen. Like we're a real lab now, you know? I must admit, her knowledge has been a great asset. Of course, the girl genius would never have joined us if not for the cunning of Hoin Kyoma. That's why you're shining so bright now, Ocarine. Yes, Ocarine. Not the name you've given it, Aristojack. Ocarine. I'm no selling the existence of that joke. Even though I've just acknowledged it live on the internet. I'm still no selling it. That's told you. Christian is a big help to you, really big help to you, I know.
でもね、マユシーはあんまりオカリンの役に立ててないのです。
But I can't do anything to help. Mayuri looks depressed.
マユシーももっと頭が良かったらな。そしたらオカリンの役に立てたのにね。
I wish I was smart too. Then maybe I could help. Mayuri? She's never expressed such sentiments before. Is she jealous of Kurisu's talents? Is there competition brewing in the lab? I sigh and walk to the window. I can't see many stars in the sky.
Mayuri? 今日は星を見ないのか?
Mayuri, aren't you going to look at the stars? Mayuri comes up beside me. We lean out of the window together. It's only 9 PM, but Akiba is already still and silent, save for the occasional car trundling by.
このラボを作ったばっかりの頃、ダル君もいない頃にね、よくこうして二人で静かに過ごしてたよね。
Back when the lab just started, before Darakun joined, it was like this a lot, wasn't it? All quiet, just the two of us.
ああ、そうだな。
Yeah, it was. Daru joined the lab in early May. Before that, he was unwilling to join no matter how I tried to convince him. Then he learned that the lab was just 3 minutes away from May Queen plus Nyanyan, and suddenly it was all, Future Gadget Lab, hell yeah! But for about a month and a half after the lab's founding, it was just me and Mayuri all alone.
マユシーはこれからもここにいてもいいのかな?
I think it depends on the city, Arista Jack, because some cities are very, like, heavy pollution dense. When I was in China, in Beijing, for example, you definitely didn't have any chance at all. But when I've been in Tokyo, you do actually see quite a lot of the stars, because it's weird. I think it depends on which part of Tokyo you're in. And Akihabara, being an electric town, you don't see as much. But if you go to places like Shinagawa and places like Tabata, you can see a lot more. Mayuri looks at me with uncertainty in her eyes. I meet her gaze firmly, then bop her lightly on the head. Boop.
くだらないことを言うな。
Don't be ridiculous.
マユリはここにいるだけでいいんだ。
All you need to do is stay.
いるだけ?
Just stay? And evening avian, just see that you've popped up in the chat there. How are you doing?
お前がいなかったらこのラボはもっと殺伐としていただろう。
Without you, the lab would be a much less friendly place.
特に俺と助手は水と油みたいなところがあるからな。互いに意見をぶつからせて喧嘩になってもおかしくない。
You see how Kurisu and I argue? We can be pretty stubborn, and sometimes we don't know when to stop.
だがそんな時にマユリが空気の読めない能天気コメントを発することで殺伐さが中和されるのだ。
But when it starts to get out of hand, Mayuri, you're always there with some ditzy, irrelevant comment to break the tension.
褒められてるのかな?
Are you praising me?
もちろん褒めている。
Of course I am.
何も案ずるな。お前がここにいるのは俺にとっては計算のうちなのだからな。
Don't worry about a thing. Just know that you too are part of my plan.
そっか。ありがとう、オカリ。
Okay, thanks, Ocarine. I know, that's good that you feel a lot better. You feel that while work was awful, it's better today than it was yesterday. That's amazing. I'm glad about that. I'm feeling fine. I'm just rocking and rolling. Mayuri smiles in relief. And then her stomach rumbles.
お腹空いちゃった。おでんか温めようっと。オカリ ンも食べる？
I'm starving. I want some canned Odin. You want some too?
あ、もらう。
Yeah, heat it up.
じゃあちょっと待っててね。
Coming right up. Soon we are chowing down on piping hot Odin. Right, change of scene. So I'm going to quickly drop a save in here. Arista Jack, don't you say you feel that Rintaro Okarin is a suspicious main character despite me playing as him? Trust me. After what happened on the last stream with the character Lukaku, he's less than suspicious. He's a fucking cunt. I can't stand the guy. The next day, Maya and I go shopping at Radicam. We have a list, written by Kurisu, of parts for the time leap machine. Naturally, I'm paying for everything out of my own pocket. Kurisu and Dara have already started on the work on the upgrade. Apparently, the conversion of memories into digital data requires software developed at Kurisu's lab in America. So you can download that software from their dedicated server. But that's not the only thing we need. There's also some kind of brain scanning headgear that we're going to have to make ourselves. Incidentally, I have to pay extra close attention to make sure Mayuri doesn't wander off while we're shopping. If she sees some random store that interests her, she'll literally stop and stare at it for hours. I keep walking, of course, and only later realise that she's not behind me. Then I have to run from store to store looking for her. This must be how parents of small children feel. No, parents of small children are responsible. You're not. Anyway, this is nothing new. Mayuri has always been like this.
頼むから俺についてこい。この迷宮ではぐれたら、おそらくお前は自力では外に出られないぞ。
I'm begging you, stick with me. If you get lost in this labyrinth of technology, you'll never escape. Not with your sense of direction.
わかった気をつけるね。
Okie dokie, I'll be careful.
でね、オカリタイムリープとタイムトラベルってどう違うの？
By the way, how is time leaping different from time travel? An amazing theme tune, written by Donald P.S.T. Belisario. Oh boy. See if any of you get that reference. Did she really hear what I just said about not wandering off? Besides, Kurisu already explained the difference yesterday.
タイムトラベルは体ごと時間を飛び越えること。タイムリープは記憶だけが時間を飛び越えることと覚えればいい。
Time travel means your whole body travels through time. The time leap will only send your memories to the past. It's simple. Just memories. No personality or consciousness included. Although Kurisu did mention that there was no way to be sure what might happen to your consciousness.
そっか。
Oh.
ね、じゃあ D メールとタイムリープだとできることってどう違うのかな？
Does that mean you can do things with time leaps that you can't with D-mails?
D メールは過去へ指示できるだけだった。過去は変わるかもしれないし、変わらないかもしれない。それは受け取った人間次第であり、成功率は未知数だった。
D-mails can only send instructions to the past. The past may change, or it may not. The results are unpredictable and depend on the recipient.
それに過去が変わった場合、変える前の記憶は失われる。世界線が再構成されるからだ。
And when the past does change, the world line is reconfigured. Everyone loses their old memories. When you say there's comparisons going on by Queen Avian, what do you mean? I've not seen any posts that suggest that. Comparing who with who, or what with what, or where with where. I am the exception. thanks to reading Steiner.
それに対してタイムリープだと、例えば1週間前のお前の頭の中に今のお前の記憶が丸々流れ込んでくることになるはずだ。
With a time leap, on the other hand, you can give your past self not just instructions, but all of the memories you have right now. Or at least, that's the idea. We won't know for sure if it works until the time machine is built.
例えば作りかけのコスを持って1週間前へ行ける？このままでの時間を1週間分稼げてマユシー大勝利みたいなこと？
So I could send the costume I made better last week? I would love to have another week to prepare for Kamima. Interesting question, Alistair Jack. If I could change something in the past, what would I change? There's lots of things, but maybe I'm a bit too much like Akihiko in Persona 3 FES here, but I think it's dangerous. I get the idea that if I messed around with something I really wanted to change, it'd deprive me of a lot of things that happened afterwards, and I wouldn't want to lose those connections. So to be honest, there's quite a few things that are deeply personal I would definitely love to change, but at the same time I don't think I would.
タイムトラベルならば可能だろうが、タイムリープでは無理だ。
That might be possible with time travel, but not with time leaping.
2日前に受けたテストの答えを知っている状態でテストの前へ戻ることはできる。だが回答済みの答案用紙を持って2日前へは戻れない。
Say you had a test last week. Now that you know the answers, you could send that knowledge back to yourself and ace the test. But you couldn't go back and hand yourself a cheat sheet.
じゃあマユシーの意識は1週間前のマユシーの中に入っちゃうってこと？
So Mayushi's mind goes into Mayushi 1 week ago.
そういうことだ。
Exactly. While this conversation has been going on, I've been steadily purchasing items from Kurisu's shopping list.
物は持っていけないけど記憶は持っていけるんだね。そっか。
You can't bring stuff, but you can bring your memories. I get it.
でもそしたら1週間前のマユシーの中にあったマユシーの記憶はどこに行っちゃうのかな？
But then what about Mayushi 1 week ago? Where do her memories go?
上書きされるのではないか？
I assume they get overwritten. We haven't tested it though, so there's no way to be sure.
消えちゃうってこと？
She disappears?
消えたとしても1週間前のお前の記憶と今のお前の記憶は連続している。記憶が上書きされたとしても1週間前までのお前の記憶には何も変化はない。
Your memories right now include your memories from back then. So even if she does disappear, you don't really lose anything. How does that work? If you go back and delete someone's memories, then they're not formed, so you can't remember them in the future. Am I wrong? I guess we'll find out, but that's my interpretation here. Surely if you go and overwrite someone's memories from the past, you can't remember those same memories that you've overwritten.
未来の1週間分の記憶が追加されるという言い方をした方が良さそうだ。
I guess you could say you're just adding your memories from 1 week in the future.
じゃあね1週間前のマユシーに記憶を飛ばしたら今のマユシーの体はどうなっちゃうんだろう？
Then, if Mayushi's memories leap into the Mayushi 1 week ago, what happens to Mayushi now? Maya is asking some pretty philosophical questions today. But I guess anyone would ask the same.
マユシーが1週間前に記憶をビューンって飛ばしてもオカリンはここにいるんだよね。オカリンから見ると意識が飛んでったマユシーはどうなっちゃってるのかな？
Mayushi's memories jumped to the past, but my body's still here, right? What happens to me when my memories go bye-bye?
抜け殻になっている。いや待て、そうじゃない。そういうことじゃないはずだ。
You become an empty shell. No, that can't be right. That doesn't make sense.
助手がやろうとしているのは記憶をデータ化して保存する。つまりバックアップでしかない。記憶をすべて脳から抜き去ってそれをデータ化するわけではないのだ。
My assistant's device merely records your memory data. In other words, it's just a backup. Your original memories are still inside you. Nothing inside the brain is lost. You don't become an empty shell. Besides, neither personality nor consciousness is transferred to begin with.
だから抜け殻になったり意識が飛んだりすることはないはず。
Your body shouldn't become an empty shell, and your consciousness shouldn't leap either. I see you usually find time travel films and shows a bit complicated, Alistair Jack. It depends on how they're explained. I mean, that's the key thing. Like, sometimes they explain it well, and other times they don't. And it's really annoying. It's the same with multiverses. Some of the multiverse ones can get very complicated as well, at times. It can be quite annoying to follow. No, wait. There's another issue here.
というか、1週間前に戻って、またその1週間を経験してきたマユリがここにいることになるのではないか?
Actually, won't you become a new Mayuri? One who received memories from the future 1 week ago. Not that anybody, including me, will be able to tell the difference.
じゃあタイムリープする前の最初の1週間を過ごしたマユシーはタイムリープしてその1週間を繰り返したマユシーに消されちゃうの?
Then, does the Mayashi who had the normal memories before the time leap get erased by the Mayashi who repeated the week with extra memories? This is getting complicated.
そうだ、消える。もう一度やり直すと言うべきだな。そっくりそのままトレースすることもできるし、全く別の行動を取ることもできる。
That's right, she's erased. In other words, you relived a week. You could do things the same, or you could do something completely different.
それと、消えた最初の1週間の記憶自体をマイルが持ち続けていることになる。
And you'll keep your old memories of the week that disappeared.
じゃあね、じゃあね。
Then, does that mean... The questions keep coming. She's trying hard to understand in her own ditzy way.
もしも1週間前に戻ったマユシーが1週間後の今日ラボには来なくて学校のお友達と池袋で遊ぶことにしたらどうなるのかな?
So, I redo the week, okay? But what if I decide to go to Ikebukuro with my friends instead of coming to the lab today?
今はマユシーはこうしてオカリンとお話ししてるけど
What happens to the Mayashi talking with Okarin now?
過去が変わり、今も変わることになるだろう。こうしてここで俺とお前が話している事実は消滅するはずだ。
The present would change to match the past, and this conversation would never happen.
それをオカリンは気づかないんだよね。
Oh, and you wouldn't notice the difference, Okarin?
ああ、そう。
Right, no one would notice.
だとしたらね、なんだか寂しいね。
That would be kind of sad.
俺が
For who? Me?
マユシーが
No, for Mayashi. I don't get what she means.
だからクリスチャンは過去を変えたくないって言ってたのかも。
Maybe that's why Chris-chan doesn't want to change the past. She nods to herself with a bright smile. Yep, taking school a bit more seriously and hoping you get a better teacher for journalism. Avian Queen, I can totally get behind that. That's a good reason to change things for sure.
あ、ねえねえねえ、タイムリープは未来には飛べないのかな?
Oh, I just thought of something. Can you time leap into the future?
飛べるかもしれないが、飛んだところで意味はない。
Maybe, but there wouldn't be a point. Kurisu and I reached that conclusion yesterday. The memories you send overwrite the memories at your destination. If you sent your memories 1 week into the future, then the future you would lose 1 week of memories.
俺たちがやろうとしているタイムリープは過去に送ってこそ進化を発揮するのだ。
The whole point of our time leap machine is to affect past events. We don't need to worry about the future. Foreshadowing, foreshadowing, foreshadowing.
それに過去より未来の方が届かない可能性は高い。
So, oh wow, Queen. Would have dropped you, but because that teacher was a twat. I mean, don't mince your words. Just come out and say it like it is. You know what I mean? Don't get political with it. Besides, you're less likely to reach the future than you are the past.
過去については思い出すことができるが、未来については予測がつかないからな。
And that's because the future is inherently unpredictable.
例えばマユリは未来永劫にわたって同じ電話番号の携帯を持ち続けていると思うか？
For example, do you think you'll have the same phone number for all eternity?
わかんないよ。
How should I know?
つまりそういうことだ。
Exactly my point.
それにかつてポケベルが携帯の出現で廃れてしまったように、携帯に代わる新たなパーソナル端末が爆発的に流行してしまうかもしれない。
And remember, pages became obsolete with the advent of cell phones. Similarly, our phones may be replaced by some other device in the future. In order for the time leap to succeed, the target, you, must have a phone whose number you know. As long as that condition is met, there should never be a problem with setting the destination. The real problem is what inside the phone wave, name subject to change, is acting as the lifter. Until we figure that out, we can't reproduce the discharge phenomenon at will. The phone wave, name subject to change, will remain incomplete. On the other hand, if we can figure out, we'll have an endless source of electrons that, unlike Cern's, needs no tuning. How exhilarated. The phone wave, name subject to change, is evolving by the day. Our invention of the time leap machine will put us light years ahead of Sern. Time travel will finally become a reality. I can't wait to try it out. My soul yearns for the taste of chaos. I barely managed to keep from bursting out in mad laughter. Ouch, only 6 other people in the class, and it was like not worth the effort. Well, not worth the stress. Yeah, reminds me of when I tried desperately to get decent at art and it just wasn't going to happen. I had a teacher who was like, "Oh, you're absolutely useless." And I was just like, that's because I'm a writer and not an artist. Let me go and write books in the library, it'd be far better use of my time. But, no. Her class, her rules. I was going to pick up that calligraphy brush and I was going to do great art. Yeah. Fuck you, bitch. Wherever the fuck you are. Come to think of it, more than 1 week has passed since we sent the first email. And although there was that strange, threatening email, there remains no sign of Men in Black coming to haul us away. According to Daru, Sern hasn't discovered our hacking either. The next problem is what will happen when we use the time leap machine. In order to compress a human's entire wealth of memory into the requisite 36 bytes, we have to borrow the LHC's black hole. I can't believe the Sern won't notice an unauthorized activation of the LHC. How do we keep them from finding us? Oh, Queen, seriously, your teacher was like that in 4th grade. Stop writing stories you need to write about your day. It's like, well, my day's dull as fucking shit. I'd rather write about knights in shining armour or penguins on the moon. It's far more interesting than I broke 2 crayons today. They say, Harrison Jack yearbooks were rubbish. I mostly vandalised mine. It was no use. It's like, I'll give you a demerit. I'm like, oh no. Anyway, we need a plan.
そっか。じゃあマユシーが小学生の頃へも飛べないんだね。その頃は携帯持ってないもん。
Oh, I guess I can't go back to grade school, can I? I didn't have a phone back then. Mayuri's still talking about the time leap.
お前は小学生の頃へ戻りたいのか？
You want to go back to your elementary school days?
気持ちはわかる。今の知識を持って小学生からやり直せば、学校の成績はおそらく学年トップになれるだろうし、人間関係もうまくこなせるだろう。
I know exactly how you feel. If you repeat elementary school with the knowledge you have now, you'll get top grades and have an easy time bending children to your will. Yeah. The wording of that, bending children to your will. Yeah, and I thought maybe I could see Grandma again.
そうか。残念だったな。
I see. I'm afraid that's not possible. Mayuri's grandmother passed away when Mayuri was in elementary school. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was invisible, quiz. So I didn't see it. Yeah, you see, you writing about your shitty day with bitch teacher not letting her write what's to write in your journal. No, she wanted you to write about your day, so you done malicious compliance by writing about how shitty your day was, because she wouldn't let you write what you wanted to write. Yeah, it's too bad, but I guess I don't really need to see her. I still remember her words, her smile, and her wrinkly hand patting my head. So even if I don't see her again, I'm okay. What I really want to see is little Ocarine again.
あの当時からこの俺はマッドサイエンティストとして完成されており、周囲のガキンチョどもとは一線を画した人間だった。
Back then, I was already a scientist without equal, a titan towering above the other children.
そんなイフのオーラを放つ天才小学生にして未来のマッドサイエンティスト。今日に会いたいというお前の気持ちよくわかるぞ。
You can hardly be blamed for desiring to meet the child prodigy who would one day be feared as the great mad scientist Hoin Kiyoma. I don't want to meet Hoin what's-his-face. I want to meet Ocarine. I am Hoin Kiyoma. Always have been, always will be. Mayuri just doesn't get it. So I disregard her comment.
だがやめておけ。精神年齢において当時から全く成長していないお前では仮に今小学生に戻ったところで何も変わらんからな。
Man, what an asshole. Seriously, come on. Anyway, there's no point. You haven't matured at all since that time. So nothing would change if you went back to elementary school anyway. Hey, that's not true. Mayushi's all grown up now.
食べる量が増えたぐらいだろ。
I thought I'd skipped a line then. Arista Jack, yeah, noisy classmates are bad, but my problem was bullies. I don't want to talk about it too much. My high school years were bad years. All I'll say is, if back then, if someone had set the charges and blown the whole place up, I'd have been celebrating. That's all I've got to say. It'd be like, you failed to protect me, and now your place is burning. Fuck you. I'm not bitter, honest. I'm not. The only thing that's grown is how much you eat. Oh. I am not reading that out.
そんなことないのです。マヨシーはちゃんと大人の階段を登ろうとしているのです。
That's not true. Mayoshi's a real woman now. A real woman? I kind of want to hear the details. But she probably doesn't know what she's talking about.
それよりもね、オカリンの方が当時から止まったままだと思うな。
Besides, I think Okarin's the one who hasn't changed since then.
だから何度も言っているだろうが、この俺は当時の時点ですでに完成されていたのだとな。
Isn't that what I said? I was already a genius mad scientist when you met me. The shopkeeper shoots me a glare. Oh wow, something sickled you in the comments, Xavier. What set you off? It's cool, I'm just like, whoa. I guess this isn't the best place for maniacal laughter. Better get those parts and head back to the lab. Another quick save, now I've got another scene completed. Arista Jackets, I think it's just part of the culture of the way it's made. It's just one of the things that's not really... It's not always moved on. It depends on the anime, I suppose. Like, if you watch the likes of Love Live or Azumanga Daioh, or quite a lot of the slice of life anime, it only crops up now and again. But in other anime, it's all over the place. I think it's just part of the culture, unfortunately. Well, is it unfortunate? I don't know. I understand it's not something you should always go on about. It's kind of uncomfortable and creepy. But at the same time, the characters are almost made to be disliked for it. So it's almost like it's self-aware enough to be aware of its own joke. Whether it's funny or not is subjective. We finish our shopping and come out in front of the station.
そういえばマイルよ。お前、最近バイトをしていないんじゃないか?
By the way, Mayuri, have you not been working recently?
バイト？ルモアンヌのこと？
Working? You mean at Lemoyne? Of course. May Queen Yan Yan doesn't exist in the current wholesome Akiba.
コミマ前だからお休みもらってるんだよ。
Kamima's coming up, so I'm taking a few days off. That's true as well, Avian, yet they're mostly teenagers, so again, they're at the hormone stage.
頑張ってコスを作らなくちゃ。
I've got costumes to make!
今年は一体何着作っている?
How many costumes are you making this year?
3着。楓ちゃんと吹雪ちゃんの分。でもってルカちゃんの分。
3. One for Kaede-chan. She's back. The ultimate pianist is back. One for Fubuki-chan, and then there's one for Luka-chan. I wonder if Lukako is still refusing to wear it. I can hardly blame her. I mean, however cute she looks, she's not a guy. Remember, Okarin, we've changed the timeline. Not a boy anymore. No, wait. That was before we sent the D-mail. Now Lukako's a girl, I guess. How confusing. She's a girl, I guess. Oh, this is making my head hurt. It's It's Moeka-san!
Nani?
What? I look where Mayuri's pointing and see Moeka squatting by the staircase, staring hard at her cell phone. She looks more tired than the last time I saw her. There are bags under her eyes, and her hair is frayed. The intensity of her expression makes me hesitate to call out to her. She'll probably just ignore me like before. On the other hand, she is a lab mem. I can't just ignore her. Hey, Finger! Why the long face, eh? Moeka-san, what are you doing here? Moeka doesn't look up. She mutters something that I can't make out. Hey, are you listening? If you have a problem, the insane mad scientist Ho-in Kyoma will gladly assist. But be warned, by the time I'm through, Akiba will be an ocean of blood. And that Arista jacket's not an insult. He actually calls her that. If I bring up the phone... Shining Finger. That's her. That's the nickname he's got for her. He calls her Shining Finger. It's not an insult. Moeka suddenly jerks upright as if poked by an electric prod. She lifts her head and stares at me with wide eyes, then jumps to her feet and walks right up to me. This is the first time I've seen Moeka express such emotion. What is it? What's wrong? She doesn't speak. Well, that hasn't changed. Instead, she looks down and starts typing on her phone. Guess I should be ready for a mail. Oh, I skipped that by accident. What happened to the time machine? Moeka. What do you mean, what happened? Are you still using it? Did you figure out how it works? Moeka. We don't fully understand it yet. We're in the middle of upgrading it. It's amazing! This time, we might even be able to time leap! What's a time leap? Tell me more! Don't write anything about it. Otherwise, we'll have to expel you from the lab. And apologies, people, I'm just going to quickly get up from my seat. It's just starting to get a bit dark, so I've decided to activate the lights. We're at that crossover period. It's still daylight outside, but in here it's gloomy. Yeah, Arista Jack, that's what's happened. Rintaro's been getting his grubby fingers at it and breaking it. It's been like this. Moeka shakes her head violently. Guess you won't write an article. Our hacking of Sern has uncovered a new possibility for the phone wave. Name subject to change. It's a form of time travel made possible by borrowing Sern's equipment.
新たなる段階へ足を踏み入れたことを意味する。すなわち時間の壁の征服。隠して人を未来へ流されるのではなく、未来を選んでいくことができるようになるだろう。
This discovery will begin a new age of human civilization. No longer will men be slaves to time. Any future you desire can be yours.
その人類史上初の偉業を今我ら未来ガジェット研究所が成し遂げようとしているのだ。
And history will record that we, the future gadget laboratory, changed the world forever!
オカリンその説明はね、すごく回りくどくてマユシにはさっぱりなのです。
Ocarine, that was really confusing. You lost Mayushi. How can you not be moved by my speech? I'm talking about becoming legends here! Moeka bites her lip and types out a mail in irritation. Then she grabs my arm and digs in her fingernails. Ah, fucking hurts!
手を離してもらおうか。
Unhand me! But Moeka doesn't listen. What's a time leap? Moeka.
タイムリープ、すなわち記憶のみの時間跳躍だ。
The time leap is a way to send your memories to the past.
俺たちはそれを可能にする方法を見つけ出した。近いうちにタイムリープは実行され、我らは時間の征服者となる。
We found a way to make that possible. Soon we will complete the machine and become the undisputed lords of time.
あのね、オカリンが思いついてクリスちゃんができるって言って、ダルくんはお手伝い中でマユシーはオカリンと買い出しなんだよ。
Ocarine came up with the idea, and Chris-chan told us how to do it. Darukun's helping, and Mayashi and Ocarine are shopping. I know that if Mayashi's way sounds more normal. A lot more normal. Moeka suddenly releases me. Her eyes are blank, unfocused. She squats down on the spot, just as we found her. She seems entirely drained of energy and will.
萌香さん、大丈夫？調子悪いの？
Are you okay, Moeka-san? Do you feel sick? That's amazing. You made a real breakthrough. Congratulations. When will it be finished?
こればかりは何とも言えないな。いくつか問題を残している。それがうまく解決できれば、1週間以内にでも完成するだろう。
I can't be sure. There are still several problems remaining. If they don't give us too much trouble, I guess we'll have it done in a week.
だが解決できなければ、いつまで経っても完成はしない。
On the other hand, we can't do anything until they're solved.
すべてをシュタインズゲートによる選択。必ずや解決の道は開けていると俺は確信している。
Everything is the choice of Stein's gate. I have faith there exists a path to success.
そして扉が開いた時、訪れるのは俺が望む混沌。世界を影から支配する機関へのラグナロックの幕は切って落とされるのだ。
And once the door is opened, the chaos for which I have so longed shall at last descend upon the earth. Trumpets will sound from the highest heaven, and the final battle, Ragnarok, will begin. I've got to admire his chops. At least he goes full on theatrics for this kind of thing. He doesn't mess around, does he? But still, who can take this guy seriously? Answer, not me.
オカリンは誰と戦ってるの？
Who are you fighting, Ocarine?
決して表舞台には現れない支配者層に決まっているだろ
The organization, of course. Their rule must end once and for all.
すごいね。でもね、危ないことはしちゃダメだからね。
Alright, so Jack, no worries, mate. You're going to have a nice night. And watch out for thunderstorms. We've not got any cloud cover, eh? No thunderstorms round here at the moment. Let me touch a lot of wood. And I agree, Queen. We're not supposed to take him very seriously at all. Wow! Don't do anything dangerous, okay? Why does Mayuri insist on worrying about me? Because she might actually like you? Oh? Moeka's lips curve into a smile. She has an almost Monokuma laugh. She rises to her feet unsteadily, then staggers off into the crowd. It's like she's forgotten about us completely. Mayuri and I can only watch her go. There's an indescribable aura about her that holds us back.
萌香さん、どうしたのかな。
What do you think is wrong with Moeka-san? I've known she was kind of strange ever since I met her, but this? Maybe she's an escaped mental patient or something. Not that her insanity can possibly compare to mine. For I desire nothing less than total and absolute chaos. Or something. And even that wouldn't surprise me. The whole point is you don't take it seriously and it turns out he's right. I'd like it to not be, I'd like it to be something else. But again, we shall see as the story progresses. Now Okarin's acting weird! Only now? Only right now? Not back at the stores or the past couple of weeks. Just now. Only now.
マユシは心配です。
Mayushi's worried. Mayushi was scared, so I ceased my maniacal laughter a few minutes earlier than I planned. Afterwards, Miyuri and I go our separate ways. She apparently has to deliver a costume to her friend Fubuki. When I return to the lab with my spoils of war, something surprising, though not too surprising come to think of it, catches my eye. Ah! Kurisu is on the computer. As soon as she notices I've returned, she quickly closes the window on the screen.
ちょっと入ってくるときはノックぐらいしてよ。
Hey, think you could knock?
ここはお前のプライベートな部屋ではない。それに敵が待ち伏せしているかもしれないのに、ノックして存在を知らせるバカがどこにいる？
This isn't your room. Besides, I'd have to be a fool to knock. There could be assassins lying in ambush.
敵が待ち伏せしてるかもって考えるバカこそどこにいる？
That's my shit.
Fubuki-chan and Kaede-chan praised me for the cosplay I made them this time. I'm really happy.
Oh, well, we know who that is. You really like making costumes, huh? What made you so passionate about cosplay anyway? We'll go with that one.
Assassins here? Are you stupid?
それでクリスティーン、お前はやるべきことをサボって何を見ていた？
Anyway, Christina, what were you looking at just now? I already know the answer, of course. I caught a glimpse of the scheme before she closed it.
調べ物よ。
I was doing research.
Looks like she plans to continue this charade. I drop my bags and go to the computer.
Stay back!
I slip past Karisu's blocking arms and restore the minimized window. And there she is on @ channel.
なんか文句ある？
Got a problem? You think it's a fucking game? Mwah! The Committee of 300? Isn't that just bullshit some conspiracy theorists made up? It's a different story if they had some evidence. But all they did was just lump every conspiracy together. That's such chuny bullshit, it's unreal. I want Fez to drool into my eye until I've... Oh! That one's for you, Queen. I know how much you love things doing with the eyes. Serious reply. 9/11 truther here. Look, the media released some of the culprits' photo portraits, and about half of them are confirmed to be living normal lives in other countries, meaning the culprits were using fake passports. So just who were the people on the planes then?
Oi! そのこれはひどいはいはいワルスワルスみたいな笑い方はなんだ?
Hey, what's with that this is Arthur ruffle ruffle laughter?
案ずるな、クリスティ。いや、アットチャンネラークリス。
Have no fear, Christina. Or should I call you Channeler Chris? You can pretend to ignore me all you want, Queen. This is just Monica. I'll put as many eyes as I want.
その呼び方はやめて。
Don't call me that.
俺はすでに気づいていた。そう、とっくに気づいていたのだよ。お前が生粋のアットチャンネラーだということにな。
I already knew. That's right. I realized long ago that you were an channeler.
隠そうとしても俺にはわかる。お前からはアットチャンネラーとしての匂いのようなものがプンプンと醸し出されていた。
You can't hide it from me. You reek of channel corruption.
失礼だな。ちゃんと毎日香りがきつくない香水つけてるぞ。
How rude. I make sure to apply light perfume every day.
バカ。そういう意味ではない。俺が言っているのは魂レベルの話だ。
Fool. That's not what I meant. I'm talking about the sense of your soul.
魂って具体的にはどんなところだ？定義を聞かせて。
My soul? What's that supposed to mean? Explain.
今後バレないための参考にするのだな。
Why? So you can learn to hide it?
うるさい。いいから聞かせろ。
Shut up. Just explain already.
具体的もクソもない。お前はたまにアットチャンネル用語をつぶやく時がある。
There's nothing to explain. You use channel memes in conversation. I'd have to be stupid not to notice. Feels bad, man.
今のもアットチャンネル語だな。
That's an channel meme too.
まさに魂レベルで染みついているということだろう。そしてこのラボにはもう一人アットチャンネル語をリアルで話すアホがいて、そいつのせいでお前の魂は冷気させられた。
Your soul is tainted with the essence of channel. You cannot hide it. Not in such close proximity to another who uses channel memes in actual conversation. Your souls resonate.
そうそう。橋田がいるせいで私まで引きずられちゃうのよ。
That's it. It's all Hashida's fault.
だが隠そうとするとはいじらしいな。アットチャンネルクリス。
But it's cute how you try to hide it. Channeler Chris.
その名で呼ぶな。
Don't call me that! She glares at me hard. If looks could kill, she's no sense of humour at all. I should be more careful in the future.
しかしゲせないな。アメリカ育ちなのになぜアットチャンネルに詳しいのだ？
But I don't understand. You were raised in America. So how are you so familiar with channel? And he gives her the glaring, confused looks like, yes, how did you do that? Tell me again.
からでもアットちゃんは見られる。あとはわかるな。
You can browse that channel from America. Need I say more?
そういうことか。英語ばかりの環境にいると日本語が恋しくなってしまうのだな。しかしよりによってアットちゃんを選ばずともよかったものを。
Ah, I get it. Living in an English-only environment made you hungry for Japanese. But did you have to resort to at channel? I mean, if you believe the pseudo-intellectuals in the media, browsing at channel is like reading scribbles on the bathroom wall.
ギスギスはしてるけど、一番日本の空気みたいなものが感じられる場所だっただけよ。
Sure, it's not the friendliest place, but I couldn't find anywhere that felt more Japanese.
それより頼みがあるんだけど。
Anyway, can I ask a favor?
頼み？
What is it? Kurisu turns away and mumbles something, but her voice is so low I can't make it out.
言いたいことははっきり言え。
If you have something to say, say it. Kurisu turns bright red, but her sullen expression doesn't change.
このことはみんなには内緒にしといて。
Don't tell anyone else about this.
そんなにも知られたくないのか。ダルはお前の同類だし、マユリもオタだから、アットチャンネルへの理解は深いぞ。俺もよく見に行くしな。
Well, what difference does it make? Daru's the most hardcore at channeler who ever lived. And Mayuri's an otaku too. Even I browse that channel regularly.
恥ずべきことは何もない。履歴書やプロフィールの趣味の欄に堂々とアットチャンネルを見ることと書くがいい。
There's nothing to be ashamed of. Just boldly write hobbies, browsing at channel on your resume.
書けるかバカ。
Not a chance, you idiot.
何？ということは VIP でアンカーを出すことの方がいいのか？
What? You mean you'd rather post anchors on VIP? Go on, what are these then? Anchor. To link a specific post on the message board, usually as a reply. On that channel, it's done by typing in the post number. Right, yeah, so you become an anchor. Okay. That channel's news/VIP board. Although ostensibly a discussion of news stories, it's currently dominated by idle chat threads. And then there's Verthandi. The second of three Norns, goddesses of fate in Norse mythology. Tends a world treat of Drazel, whose roots lie at Earth's fountain. Okay.
言葉の意味を理解できる自分が憎い。
I hate myself for understanding those words.
まあいい。タイムリープマシンの開発に集中してもらうためにもこの件は黙っておく。おそらくすぐにボロが出て俺以外のラボ面にもバレるのも時間の問題だろうがな。
Well, whatever. If it will help you focus on the time fleet machine, I'll keep your secret for now. Besides, it's just a matter of time before you make another mistake and reveal your true colours.
心配には及ばない。大学じゃ周囲はみんな年上だった。研究室じゃ一番の若造なのに、論文は私が書かせてもらえた。
You don't have to worry about me. Remember that I represented my entire laboratory when we presented our research, even though there were men twice my age on the project.
処世術には長けてるのよ。甘く見ないで。
I'm an expert at dealing with people. I'll have no trouble keeping it a secret.
ヌルポ。
Nulpo. I know that channel team. Term first seen on programming board of 2003. Nulpo is short for null pointer exception. Error seen in Java. You know, Jesus Christ, Java. Programming language. When someone browses Nulpo, the correct response is to smack them on the head and say, Gah! As for why, you tell me. I don't know.
Gah!
But there she is. Gah!
しまった。
No.
Kurisu's face gets even redder, and then she falls to her hands and knees in defeat, Oz. Just as I thought, that channel is in her blood and bones. She doesn't have a prayer. So with that scene now dealt with, we're going to do a quick save and then find out what's on the mobile phone, because it appears there's another message that's come in. It's from Mayuri again. Hey, I just got an achievement for that. Passion's best forgotten. You forgot? It all started when you asked for a costume of Kojiro, the flame user from King of Histories. Remember? I thought it looked great on you, but you only wore it once. Such a waste. As night fell, we tried to activate the foam wave. Name subject to change. But as expected, the discharge did not occur. Mayuri is at her sewing machine, putting some finishing touches on her costume. She got back earlier this evening, after delivering a different costume to her friend Fubuki-chan. She's been working on this costume ever since. Come to think of it, she usually heads home around 7 or 8, but today she's still hard at work.
Mayuri, あまり遅くならないうちに帰れ。親が心配するぞ。
Are we about to see him put his foot in another pile of shit here, and that something's happened to her folks? Mayuri, go home before it gets too late. Your parents will worry.
大丈夫だよ。あのね、マユシーは今日はここにお泊まりするのです。
It's okay. I'm gonna spend the night.
え、本気か?
Really? She's never done that before.
お父さんとお母さんにもね、そう言ってあるよ。
So I was wrong. I'm kind of glad about that, to be honest, because I don't want another one of those scenes.
Yep, I already told Mom and Dad.
泊まって作業をしていくのか?
Are you staying to work on your costume?
そうでもしないとゴミ間に間に合わないんだ。
Ah, Faris Nyan, what does she want?
It's Maishi, okay? Tell her to have fun at Kamimar for me. I don't think I can go this year, Nyan. I just don't have the energy, Nyan. I'm completely burned out. I can hear a voice shouting, "Get up, Joe, Nyan. Someone, save this collapsing world, it's collapsing, Nyan."
Right, so we've got energy. That's not like you. Pull yourself together. I need your help finding the IBN 5100. No, didn't want to back out. What happened is the organisation attacking, and then stop making me worry. I'm going to go with the organisation attacking, because that is in character. No doubt it's going to be the wrong one and take me onto the bad ending, but I don't care.
It won't be done in time for Kamimar if I don't.
よく親が許可したな。
I'm surprised your parents let you stay. I've met her parents any number of times. They're as ditzy as Mayuri. But still, I don't think they'd appreciate their underage daughter staying overnight in this dirty lab.
やはりこの俺、法院教魔の人望だな。あ、いや待て。人望などという言葉にはヘドが出る。つまり、そうではなく。
It must be my overwhelming charisma. No, wait. That makes me sound like a good person, so that can't be it.
そうか。マユリの親はこの俺のイフでやむを得ず娘を人質に。
Of course, Mayuri's parents are so afraid of my insanity that they sent me their only daughter as a hostage.
通報しました。
Reported.
Kurisu calls out from the development room. She's been tinkering with the phone wave. Name subject to change. But I guess she was listening.
って言われたらどうする?
What would you do if I called the cops on you?
裏切るというのなら俺の右腕が火を吹くことになるぞ。クリスティーナ。
I unleash my right arm on traitors, Christina.
はいはい、12秒、12秒。
Yeah, yeah. Chinibio, whatever.
クリスちゃんも一緒だからって説明したら、お父さんもお母さんもそれなら安心って言ってくれたんだよ。
I told Mom and Dad that Chris-chan would be here. Then they said okay.
それってつまり、私も泊まれって ていうこと？
Wait, so I have to stay too?
だってね、電話レンジちゃんの改良で大変なんでしょ？
Yep. Don't you have to work on the phone wave?
まあそうだけど、このラボに泊まると気がめいるのよね。主に誰かさんのせいで。
I guess, but I don't relish the thought of spending the night here. At least not with a certain somebody around.
Oh dear, Queen. That breaking news sounds dangerous to me. Oh dear. Well, I'm not going to say exactly what it is. I don't want to get my stream flagged by the bots looking out for fake news on that, because they'll probably flag it as fake news. All we'll have to do is wait and see what happens. Hopefully it goes in the right direction, but I get the feeling your eyes shut in despair emoji is probably the right answer.
環境というのは大事な要素だ、クリス。ここは研究に打ち込む以外にすることがないから意外と集中できる。ソースはこの大い強馬。
Environment matters, Christina. This is a place of science and research, so you should have no trouble concentrating on your work. Trust the great Hoin Kyoma!
それに聞いて驚くな。このラボに脳内物質を活性化させるシステムが組み込まれている。
Also, it may surprise you to learn that I have equipped this lab with a system that stimulates brain function.
つまりこの俺の天才的かつ大胆かつ繊細な発明に対する着想は毎日ここに寝泊まりしているからこそ生まれるのだ。
So if you're wondering where my incredible genius comes from, now you know. It's because I sleep in this room every night. Now, sorry for a second, I need to very quickly go away from computer. It will not be long, this is something I need to adjust. And there we go, we are back. Apologies for that, just had to quickly check something out outside in my room, that's all, no big deal.
脳内物質を活性化させるシステムって、あんた一体何を垂れ流してるんだ
This stimulation system of yours, I assume it's been dumping toxic waste in your brain.
工場排水のごとき言い方をするな、ザ・ゾンビよ。
You sound like an environmentalist, zombie.
マユシー知ってるよ。きっとあれじゃないかな。ほら。
Ah, Mayashi knows. You're talking about that, right?
Kurisu comes out of the development room to check what Maya is pointing at.
これって芳香剤？
This air freshener?
頭の良くなる芳香剤なんだって。秋葉王で買ってきたってオカリンが言ってた。あれっていつの頃だったっけ？
Okarin said the smell makes you smarter. He bought it at Akiba. When was that?
半年ほど前だな。値段は500円とお得だった。
About 6 months ago. It was on sale for 500 yen.
岡部の話って本当に信じるに値しないわね。
I'm starting to think even you don't believe the stuff you say.
しかもこれ、中の薬剤はもう空っぽになってるし。
And besides, this air freshener is empty.
Yeah, when I went to buy replacement packs, they'd already stopped selling them.
まあいいわ。どっちにしろ私も泊まるつもりだったし。まゆりさん、付き合うわよ。
Well, whatever. I was planning to stay either way. I'll join you, Mayuri-san.
本当？よかった。
Really? That's great!
だし、岡部は出ていくこと。
On one condition. Akabe leaves.
出ていけだと。俺はここに住んでいるようなものなのだぞ。このラボこそシュタインズゲートの選択により示された魂の居場所なのだ。
Me? Leave? I practically live here! This lab was promised to me by Stein's Gate! It's the dwelling place of my soul!
女子2人が泊まるって言ってるんだから、無才男子は自重してくれないと。それにあんたって実家は遠くないんでしょ。
We girls are staying here overnight, so you filthy boys need to show some respect. Your home isn't even far from here, right?
オカリンはね、マユシーと同じで池袋だよ。
Akarin lives close to Mayashi in Ukibukuro.
電車で30分もかからないじゃない。どうせ今日は徹夜で手伝ってもらうほどのことはないんだから、おとなしく帰ったら。
Why, that's less than 30 minutes by train. Anyway, I'm not going to need your help tonight, so just go home like a good boy, okay?
And she's right, it is less than half an hour by train. Even if you take the circular line, the Yamanote, you'll still get there in less than 30 minutes.
だが断る。
But I refuse.
まさか私たちを襲うつもりか？
What? Are you planning to molest us?
黙れ。伝部に猛虎犯が残る少女めが。
Shut up, Mongolian spot.
残ってない。あのな、前にもそれ言われたが、あんたいつ私のお尻を確かめた？
I don't have a Mongolian spot. And when did you see my butt, anyway?
年下の女子2人だけをここに残していけるほど、俺は能天気ではない。未成年には保護者が必要なのだ。
I can't leave two young girls here alone. Minors need guardians.
オカリンも未成年なのにね。
But Okarin's a minor too.
あと1年半もしないうちに成人だ。それはつまりシュタインズゲートの選択的に言えば成人だということであり。
No, it doesn't work that way, I'm afraid, Akabe. You can't just decide you're an adult. Anyway, no one wants to be an adult. Adulting sucks. Adulting's a pain in the arse. I'll be 20 in less than a year and a half. In other words, Steins Gate has decided that I am an adult.
いや、それはつまり未成年だろ。
I'm pretty sure that makes you a minor just like us.
クリスちゃん、クリスちゃん。オカリンはね、マユシーたちのことを襲うような悪い人じゃないと思うよ。
Chris-chan, I don't think Okarin would do anything bad.
だってね、マユシーはもう10年以上の付き合いだけど、一度も襲われたことないもん。
I mean, we've been together for more than 10 years, and he hasn't molested me once.
But he molested Lukaku in front of you. Wake the fuck up.
でも人質にされたことはあるんでしょ？
But he took you hostage, didn't he?
っていうかね、今も人質だよ。
Yep. Actually, I'm still his hostage.
強制退出させるべきね。
We should kick him out of the room.
I sighed deeply and placed a hand on my forehead.
あまり俺を失望させるな、クリスティーナ。
You disappoint me, Christina.
科学研究の世界に男も女もない。そうだろう。このラボは神聖なる研究の場なのだ。そのような下世話な話題をしたいのだ。お前こそ今すぐ出ていくがいい。猛虎犯。
This lab is a place of science. We are above such petty concerns as sex. If you must speak of these vulgarities, then I'll have to ask you and your Mongolian spot to leave. Looks like that was enough to convince Kurisu. She gives me a fine gesture as she returns to the development room.
あ、そうか。やはりクリスティーナの伝部には猛虎犯が。
Ah, so Christina really does have a birthmark on her, but...
ねえよ。
No.
After working on the phone wave, name subject to change, for about an hour, I head to a convenience store to buy dinner. And I am saving the game because we just had another scene complete. Daru hasn't shown his face at all today. He must be busy with that part-time job. I still don't know what he's doing exactly. Probably something that utilises his super hacker skills. I just hope he stays clear of the law. While walking, I skim at channel on my phone. Taita hasn't shown up lately. I think it's been a week since his last appearance. I've been reluctant to contact him ever since he called me the Messiah in his last email. That was about the same time he stopped posting. Now our channel's denizens are busy slandering Taita. The majority opinion is that he ran away. I wonder where Taita went. I tried emailing him the other day, but he hasn't replied. His disappearance is especially worrying now that I think he might be Suzuha's dad. I need to contact him somehow. Just then, a mail arrives. No sender, no name. The address is one I've seen once before. I've got a bad feeling about this. I pause and take a look around. Then I swallow my fear and open the mail. You know too much. And in it is an attachment. But it's not letting me click it. Ah, there we are. It's Chucky, a decapitated head. Game? Why have I got a bloody child's head on my stream? And I've also broadcasted it uncensored, so thank you very much. The channel's now dead. Goodbye, I think. It feels as if a cold hand stroked my spine. I hug myself, shuddering at the sight. Well, it's an excuse. He's mentioned hugging. If he's going to hug himself, I'm going to hug Pikachu. I delete the email immediately. It's happening again. This is bad. It's not a rave, people. This is bad. Really bad. This is a threat. Was it sent by the organisation? By Sern? Does Sern know what we've been doing? Should I report it to the police? Wait, I can't. I just deleted it. And in any case, a picture alone probably isn't enough to get the police involved. Still, maybe I should talk to someone. But who? Not the girls. I can't worry them with this. I'm the adult here, after all. What about Moeka? No, she may be a lab mem, but she's been acting weird lately. Even if I tell her about this, she won't be any use. Suzuha has her father to worry about. I guess that leaves Daru. I need to find out whether Sern has discovered our hacking. What would Sern do if they find out, I wonder? They wouldn't have us killed, would they? Despite my efforts to convince myself that this is just a prank, my feet hurry me back to the lab. I burst into the lab gasping for air and quickly locked the door behind me. Finally, I can catch my breath. But just then, I realise that something's wrong. Mayuri and Kurisu aren't here. Did they go home? No, their bags are still here. The lights are still on. The door. When I entered just now, it was unlocked. Would they be so careless? The memory of that threatening email fills me with fear. And this is where we finally have a big twist. The question is, are we going to find a body or are we going to see something else? Don't tell me. Were they kidnapped? Who took them? The organisation? Sern? And then I hear a noise. That's water. Is that the shower? The lab has a shower inside the dressing room. Oh no. We're not having a walk-in or a shower scene, are we? There's no bath. We can't afford such luxuries. And it's too small to fit more than one person inside. Now I hear the sound of water running. I recall the famous scene from Hitchcock's Psycho. No! Fresh blood mixing into the water and flowing down the drain. The corpses of two girls sprawled naked out on the tile. The second those images flash through my head, I slam open the door to the shower room. Is everyone okay? Yep, I was right. I called it. I knew he was going to do it. I knew it was going to happen. Yeah! What are you doing?
Yeah! No peeking, Okari!
Through the steam, I see the wet, naked bodies of the two girls, and I am not touching the circle button. No! Yeah, I'm definitely not touching the circle button now that he's zooming in. Mayuri squats down, while Kurisu bashfully twists her body. She's got a right to be bashful. A guy has just burst in while they're fucking naked. Of course she's going to be fucking bashful. Why aren't you getting your ass kicked? Trying desperately to hide her unmentionables. Are their faces red because of the heat? No! No, they're not. You absolute imbecile. You're still alive. Unlike you, who is about to be kicked to death. I wiped the cold sweat off my brow and sighed deeply. Oh, don't scare me like that. What are you guys doing packed into that tiny shower anyway? And yet, Queen, you're absolutely right. In these kind of situations, you expect to walk into one thing only to discover another. I called it. I'm like, nah, it's not going to happen. Too early. Kurisu shoots me a deadly glare. Get out, you perv! I dodge a bar of soap aimed at my face, then quickly flee the dressing room. Well, I suppose that was all my fault.
Mayushi's sad. I feel kinda dirty. You're gonna regret this! I'll never forgive you!
Damn it! Just a small misunderstanding. Yeah, just the smallest understanding. You know, there was nothing serious happened here. It's not like he was in a position to take advantage or anything. Well, yeah, it's only a small misunderstanding. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Idiot. I mean, why the hell did they decide to take a shower together when they knew I was coming right back? I'm not reading that last line. Kurisu especially. After all that talk about not wanting to spend the night with me around, she sure dropped her guard awfully fast. They're just lucky it was me who walked in on them. What if it had been the organisation? They need to get serious. We're fighting for our lives here. By the way, I didn't see a Mongolian spot on Kurisu's butt, naturally. Anyway, how much longer are they going to shower? Looking at the clock, it's already been more than 15 minutes since I got back. It's interesting, Queen. You think he's kind of not wrong because like they think he went into peep, whereas he actually thought they might be in danger. But still, I still don't like the connotation at the end of it. I really don't. It reminds me too much of blaming the victim, and I don't condone that. They were yelling at me a few minutes ago, but now I hear laughter and happy squeals coming from the shower room. Sounds like they're having a good time. They get along almost like sisters.
Wow, Chris-chan, you're so slim. But Mayuri, your breasts are so big, I'm jealous.
They're checking each other out, aren't they? In my head, I caught the memory of what I saw in the shower. Wet hair, beads of water glistening on their soapy skin, round, full treasures hidden by conveniently placed steam. Was that a reference to Steam itself, I wonder? Like I say, it was censored for Steam, maybe? I don't think so, but it'd be quite clever if it was. I put my phone to my ear.
少しまずい状況になりつつある。この最強マッドサイエンティストである法王位京馬が蒙古藩少女と能天気少女の姉妹から精神攻撃を受けている。
It's me. We have a problem. I'm under attack from the Mongolian spotted ditzy sisters. They're going directly after my sanity. A bold move against the insane mad scientist, Ho-in Kiyoma.
これは今まで味わった中でも最大級の攻撃力だ。無防備こそ最強の攻撃だと思い知らされたよ。奴らめ、いよいよ本気を出してきたと見える。実にけしからん。
I agree with you, Queen. Happy coincidence. I agree. This is the strongest offensive I've ever encountered. I realise now that vulnerability itself can be a powerful weapon. They're pulling out all the stops, and I don't think my pants can take it. You're a fucking perv.
少女たちを倒せだとそんなことができるものか。なぜなら奴らに操られているあの少女たちは俺の仲間であり幼馴染なのだから。
Given to the temptation? Nonsense. I could never do that. They're fellow lab members, my loyal assistant to my childhood friend.
どうしてもか。どうしても俺は彼女たちを倒さなければならないのか。だとしたら俺は今回ばかりはシュタインズゲートの選択を恨むぞ。
Must I? Is it truly the will of Stein's Gate that I give in? That I raise my hand against my closest companions? If so, then how cruel the fates be. Ill. Sigh. Congru. After a moment to collect myself, I put away my phone. I need some air. Two days have passed since Kurisu and Mayuri came to stay. During that time, Daru and I have done our best to support Kurisu's work on the phone wave, name subject to change. According to Daru, it should be easy to use the LHC to generate black holes for our use. The black holes form at the proton collision point where the lifter is installed and exist for only a few seconds before evaporating. I'm going to quickly save my game here while I can. During those few seconds, Sern throws a human into the singularity. We'll use those few seconds too. The gravity of the black hole compresses no matter to infinite density. Sern uses a lifter to keep the compression under control, but we don't want that. We're going to dial Cern's lifter down. Not so much that it endangers the world, of course, but enough to compress our memory data to under 36 bytes. Daru has been coding the necessary program. As for me, I've been searching for our lifter, the unknown device that pumps electrons into the phone wave, name subject to change, and keeps our black hole open. Kurisu couldn't find anything that could serve as a lifter inside the microwave, so it must be something on the outside. We're not sure what that could be, and so far we have no idea where to start looking. Yesterday, I consulted Daru about the threatening email. But Daru insisted that there's no way Sern could have discovered his hacking yet. Of course, I had him make doubly sure that we hadn't been tracked. His test came back clean. I apologise, people. Just having to make a slight adjustment. I understand he's confident in his skills, and I trust him. If Daru says they still haven't found out, then they haven't. But somehow, knowing that does not ease my anxiety. It's Friday, and although we still haven't solved the lifter problem, Kurisu is just about done with the time leap machine. Oh, the Kako's messaged.
Have you gone to any festivals or fireworks shows this summer? Maybe you have plans to go with Mayuri-chan later. P.S. I did 22 practice swings with Samidare.
No, too crowded. I'm being chased by the organisation, remember? The last thing I need is a knife in the back. I'm gonna go on the Mayuri answer. I don't know Mayuri's plans, but I'm pretty sure she's busy preparing for a different sort of festival soon to take place in Ariake. Kamima, in other words. Naturally, that means it's time for her to give me something else to worry about.
最終調整のために電話レンジを稼働させる。
For the final adjustments, we need to use the foam wave.
I groan. In other words, we have to cause electrical discharge phenomenon. There's a risk involved. A risk called Mr. Braun. As we know, the discharge phenomenon causes the entire building to shake. Last time, Mr. Braun threatened to raise our rent if it happened again. Kurisu and Daru look at me. It's up to you, Okarin.
フォローお願い。
Take care of it.
つまり敵地に乗り込み死ねというのだな。
In other words, you're sending me to die.
あんたの犠牲があって初めてタイムリープ用電話レンジは完成するのよ。
Your sacrifice will allow us to complete the time leap machine.
それにこれまでも店長のご機嫌取りに行ってたのはオカリンだったじゃん。
Besides, you're always the one who talks to the boss for us.
ならばなおさらたまにはお前たちが。
Well, maybe it's time for you to put your lives on the line.
私は無理。あの店長さん以前にバイトから目の敵にされてる。
I can't. That girl who works there hates me.
いいだろう。だが忘れるな。俺は絶対に死なん。不死鳥のごとく何度でも蘇るぞ。
Fine, but hear this. I will not die. Like the immortal phoenix, I will return, no matter how many times it takes. With that said, I head down to handle things with Mr. Braun.
おかり死んじゃやだよ。
Don't die, okay?
As I pass through the lounge, Mayuri looks up from her costume to see me off. Ah, it's Friday the 13th. I've just noticed that. When I step into the store, Mr. Braun, Scissorhar and the Chipmunk are watching some comedy show on the massive 42-inch CRT. Watching TV at noon without a customer in sight. Looks like business as usual at the Bjorn Tube Use workshop.
おーす、岡部倫太郎。
Sup, Okabe Rintaro?
And again, I said on the other streams that I don't trust her. The reason being, she's my best girl. And for some reason I have a track record of having girls with streaks to them, shall we say. And that's why I don't trust Scissorhar, because I like her. A subjective reason, I know. After all, Avian, you remember my Sutrus, my paramour, don't you? From Persona 5 Royal. My queen of the shogi board. I raise my hand in response to Scissorhar's greeting. The chipmunk, Nae, quickly hides behind her father when she sees me.
この店は相変わらず繁盛していないようですね。
I see you're as busy as ever.
お、岡部か。ブラウン管買ってけ。
Oh, Kabe, buy a CRT.
いりません。俺は解雇中ではないのでね。買うなら液晶テレビを買いますよ。
No thanks. I'm not some kind of retro TV otaku. I'd rather buy an LCD. I look around the store as I answer. Huh? I just thought of something. Like Sern's Large Hadron Collider, the foam wave, name subject to change, must have some kind of electron feed to keep the black hole open. Sern calls this feed the lifter. We still haven't figured out what that is, nor what could be acting as a substitute lifter in our time machine. What if? What if our lifter is somewhere in this shop? Haha! I knew that I'd get your attention, Avian. All the red flags suddenly fill up my thing. Whatever it is must be in close proximity to the foam wave. Name subject to change. It couldn't work otherwise, and the Brawn Tube workshop is located directly below the lab. Could our lifter be a CRT?
てめえ、最近女ばっか連れ込んでるらしいじゃねえか。
You've been having a lot of girls over lately, haven't you?
ばっかと言ってもいつもメンツは変わりませんよ。
Just the usual members.
私もこの前お邪魔してきたよ。
Ah, Faris Nyan Yan.
My life has no meaning. It's all gone now. No one will look at me. Not anymore. What can I do? Even if I shout, no one can hear. My voice can't reach the one most important to me. I walk alone through dusty grey streets forever pounded by lukewarm rain. Such is the fate of the defeated. Still, Faris is here. Someone find me.
What chuny nonsense! If you want attention, come to the lab. Mayuri and I are here for you. Ooh. That's not the message I expected to send.
I was over the other day.
俺も呼べ。娘と話して。
Invite me next time, huh? I want to talk to some young girls for a change.
父さん、熱。
Daddy, that's dirty.
違うぞ、なえ。これは社会勉強であり、それと顧客獲得のための営業活動なんだよ。
No, it isn't. It's marketing. Yeah, I'm looking for new customers. Check out this scary-looking guy trying desperately to explain himself to his daughter. Hilarious.
そもそもさ、店長の言い草じゃまるで私が若くないみたいじゃん。
What do you mean for a change? You talk to me every day.
若くはないな。
You're not young. Suzu has the same age as Daru and I, which makes her older than Mayuri or Kurisu.
なに？岡部倫太郎、なんつった？
Did you say something, Okabe Rintaro?
事実だ。
Only the truth.
なえ、お父さんがお前さえいれば幸せなんだからな。ね。
Nay, your father is happy as long as he has you, okay?
うん、わかってるよ。でも、ケツっぽいことはもう言わないでね。
Yep, I know. But don't say dirty things anymore, okay?
もちろん約束するさ。
It's a promise. Then he joins pinkies with his daughter, the old pinky swear. Damn, Mr. Braun, you're way off character. How does a guy like him produce a daughter like that? Nai is one of the kindest, gentlest girls I've ever met. I don't know why she's so afraid of me though. Anyway, I came here to explain that the building's about to shake. How do I avoid having my head ripped off? How many more earthquakes do you think this building can handle? No, that's way too obvious. An earthquake is coming! My magic eye, reading Steiner, has seen it in the future! Escape while you still can! Yeah, that might work.
ねえ、昨日も椎名真由里は泊まったの？
Hey, did Shinya Mayuri stay over yesterday?
あ
Yeah.
ってことは、マキセ・クリスも？
So, Makise Kurisu stayed too.
あ、ああ。二人とも上にいる。
Yeah, they're both upstairs.
そっか。
Oh. Suzuha's hostility towards Kurisu hasn't abated.
お前の方はどうだ？
And how are you doing?
どうだって？
Huh?
少しは元気が出たのか？
Are you feeling better?
ああ、うん。まあね。捜索は継続中。
Oh, yeah. I guess. The search continues.
あ？おいバイト、何の話だよ。
Huh? What's this about, part-timer?
私、父さんを探してるんだって。店長にも前話したじゃん。
I'm searching for my dad. I told you before, remember?
ああ、その話か。岡部、探してやれ。
Oh, right. Go find our old man, Akabe. Why does he think he can boss me around?
無論だ。鈴葉はすでにラボメンとなっているのだからな。俺とその他メンバーに任せておけ。
Naturally. Suzuha's a fellow lab member. Leave it to us. Suzuha looks at me with a smile that shines through the gloom filling the store.
岡部倫太郎って私と同い年なのにすごく年上って感じだな。なんかグイグイ引っ張ってく力があるよね。
Akiba and France, we're the same age, but sometimes you seem a lot older. You really know how to give people strength. That's the first time anyone's said that to me. It makes me kinda happy. Aww.
当たり前だ。俺は大院京馬なのだからな。
Of course, I am the great Hoin Kiyoma! The chipmunk cowers in terror as I unveil my madness. I can see tears pooling in her eyes. I guess my aura is too powerful for a grade school girl to endure.
岡部、もし次大声出して苗を怯えさせたら殺す。
Okabe, next time you scare Nae, I'll kill you.
すみません。
Sorry.
でもさ、
Come here a sec. Suzuha takes my arm and leads me away from the Tenojis, who've gone back to watching TV.
これだけは忠告しとくけど、
I just want to say,
マキセクリスには留意して。
be circumspect in your dealings with Makise Kurisu.
留意。
What? Circumspect? Why can't she just say careful like a normal person? Not I want to talk. Well, at least he can understand.
またか。ただの逆恨みだろ。
This again? Aren't you just being paranoid? Suzuha shakes her head firmly.
違う。これは事実。私はそれを存知している。
No, her perniciousness has been proven. Perniciousness? Is she saying Kurisu is dangerous? There's something strange about the way Suzuha is talking, and it's not just her fondness for uncommon words. There's something else, something...
あの女の頭脳は危険すぎ。それに結局あいつ実験のことしか考えてないんだ。
Her genius is a threat. At heart, she only cares about her experiments. And yes, well, I thought, Queen, yes, circumspect means literally to be dangerous, so, well, to be careful, cautious, sorry. Suzuha's eyes are hard, and her voice is as cold as ice. I can tell that she means every word she says.
君たちは利用されてるだけだよ。いい？よく聞いて。
Listen to me. She's using you all.
あの女はセルンに通じてる。
Makise Kurisu is connected to Sern. What? No, that's impossible. Sern is our enemy. If Darrow's hacking is discovered, I have no doubt they'll do everything in their power to destroy us. How can Kurisu be connected to Sern?
つまりスパイだと言いたいのか。
You're saying she's a spy? Suzuha nods firmly.
タイムマシン開発の功績もあの女のものになった。
The credit for inventing the time machine was hers. Again, Suzuha's words sound strange to my ears, but I still can't place my finger on why.
だからさ、気を許しちゃダメ。
Don't let your guard down. I don't believe it. I saw Kurisu's anger when she learned what Sern had been doing. She called their actions a betrayal of scientists everywhere. How could someone with such a pure love of science be connected to Sern? But if what Suzuha says is true, could she be the one who sent me that threatening email? I suspected Moeka, but... Here! Suddenly the ground starts to shake. Kurisu started the experiment? But I haven't talked to Mr. Braun yet! Damn, it's too soon! Okabe! Sure enough, veins on Mr. Braun's forehead swell in response to the shaking. How many times do I have to tell you not to shake the building? Cute girls or no, I ain't running you off. You what's going up? What? Wait, Mr. Braun! Wait, Mr. Braun, this isn't our doing. It's an earthquake. My magic eye, reading Steiner, predicted this would happen. An earthquake? You think I'd fall for that? The shaking gets more intense, knocking over a CRT. Brontu-chan! No! Crap, I can't talk my way out of this one. Okabe, you bastard! Mr. Braun clearly wants to snap my neck like a twig, but he elects to protect his greatest treasure, the 42-inch CRT instead. He grabs the remote and switches it off, then grabs hold of the TV and hangs on for dear life. Is it over? Looks like it. Wait, it's over? I carefully step through the rubble and take the remote from the dazed Mr. Braun's hand. I press the red power button. The 42-inch CRT instantly comes to life. I stare at the image on the screen and smile. What's wrong? I've done it! I've done it! This is the lifter! It's so obvious! Why didn't I see it before? Yep, Queen, I agree. Dead man walking, scaring the kid. Braun is gonna kill him. Of course. This must be the work of Steins Gate. It chose this moment for a reason. What the hell are you laughing about, Akabe? You're scaring my daughter! I'm raising your rent. You hear? And you're paying for that CRT! A little silence, please, Mr. Braun. This is a most glorious moment, for I have just been chosen as the ruler of all space and time. Stars explode behind my eyes as Mr. Braun drives his fist into the top of my head. The world spins. I struggle to get a hold of my shaken brain. You dare lay hands on the grate! Got something to say?
ミスター・ブラウン、ブラウン化の弁償についてはひとまずつけて頼みます。
Well then, Mr. Braun, put it on my tab. With that, I fly out of the workshop. Yeah, you say this one's broken or about to be, so we need a new protagonist. We needed a new protagonist as to start the fucking game. I rub my head. It hurts like hell. Damn that Mr. Braun. Did he really have to crack me so hard? Maybe I should report him for assault. Thanks to his brutality, I had to make a strategic retreat. Yeah. Make a strategic withdrawal. We'll buy that one. Fortunately, I did not emerge empty-handed. The extra 10,000 yen a month will hurt, but in exchange, I have acquired information essential to the success of my plan. All's well that ends well.
Oh, Karin, the building just shook. Are you okay?
Mayuri and Kurisu appear in the second-story window.
本当に不死鳥のごとく復活してるわね。
Looks like you really are unkillable.
クリスティーナ、俺は今ここで予言しよう。3分後、お前はこの俺の偉大さに気づき、尊敬の念を抱くとな。
I have seen the future, Christina. In 3 minutes you will be on your knees, praising my greatness.
それはないと思う。
I don't think so. I run up the stairs.
なんでそんなわかりやすいことに今まで気づかなかった。
How could you miss something so obvious? When I tell Kurisu about the 42-inch CRT downstairs, that is her first reaction.
なぜ俺は責められているのか。
Why are you blaming me?
責めてるんじゃない。私も含めて誰も気づけなかった間抜けさにがっかりしてるだけ。
I'm not blaming you. I'm just disappointed that nobody, including myself, noticed.
東大元暮らしはガチ。
We missed the Faris for the trees.
整理する
To summarize,
と、さっき2階で電話レンジカッコ仮を稼働させ、ビルが揺れ出した時は42型のブラウン管テレビはついていた。
just now, when the phone wave, name subject to change, shook the building, the 42-inch CRT was on.
だがテレビを消すと、それに同期するようにして揺れも収まったのだ。
But when Mr. Braun turned the TV off, the shaking stopped immediately.
放電現象は途中で強制的に中断されたわ。
The discharge was interrupted.
念のためにバナナを入れておいたんだけど、ゼリーマンにはならなかった。
I put a banana in just to be sure. Nothing happened.
それはね、いいことだと思うな。食べ物を粗末にしちゃダメだよ。
I'm glad. We shouldn't waste food.
Nobody replies to Mayuri's off-point statement. We're busy reading about cathode ray tubes on the internet. It doesn't take long before we find something interesting. A cathode ray tube has a component called an electron gun, which uses extreme heat and a strong electric field to accelerate electrons and turn them into a beam. Yep, you can actually use one to create a primitive X-ray machine, if you know what you're doing. Yeah, so Electric field, the area where an electric force has influence. For example, rubbing a balloon and putting it close to your head makes your hair rise due to the influence that results in static electricity. And Oz is an ideograph depicting a person on all fours. O is the head, R is the arms, the torso, and Z is the feet. Typically used to express despair, dejection, or frustration. There's no set way to pronounce it. People may pronounce it as Orts, Ors, or Ors. Or in my case, Ors. The electron beam striking the TV screen's phosphor layer is what generates the picture. An electron gun could certainly work as a lifter.
解は出たわね。
We found the answer.
42型ブラウン管が放出している電子が電話レンジの作り出したリング特異点に干渉していた。
The electrons emitted by the 42-inch CRT are holding the foam wave's black hole open.
放電現象はその影響よ。
And the discharge phenomenon is a result.
夜になると電話レンジが使えなくなったのはブラウン管工房が閉まってる時間だったからか
So the reason we can't use the phone wave at night is because the broad tube workshop's closed? The broad tube workshop doesn't have especially strict business hours, but it's usually open from around 11 AM to 7 PM. That matches up perfectly with my observation that the phone wave, name subject to change, only works between noon and 6. The few instances it hasn't worked during that time frame can be explained by the TV being off.
だがブラウン管がそんなに強力な電子を放出しているとは思えん。
But how can a cathode ray tube emit such a strong electron stream?
電子量は強ければいいというわけじゃない。そんな単純な問題ならセルンはとっくに問題を解決している。
It's not about having a strong electron stream. If stronger were better, Sern would have solved the lifter problem long ago.
I see. So it can't be too strong or too weak. By freak coincidence, the 42-inch CRT's electron gun appears to have exactly the right level of electron discharge. That's the only explanation.
まさに偶然の一致よ。ここには奇跡的にタイムマシンができる環境が揃っていた。
Somehow, the conditions here were perfect to create a time machine. Frankly, it's a miracle.
いや違うなクリスティーナ。
No, Christina. Not a miracle.
全てはシュタインズゲートの選択だ。
This is the choice of Steins Gate! Rather than glare at me as she has so many times in the past, Kurisu shoots me an exasperated smile.
別になんだっていいけど。
Whatever it is, it worked.
Mayuri looks up from her costume with a question in her eyes.
つまりね、スーパー電話レンジちゃんを完成させるためにはどうすればいいの？
So, what do we have to do to complete Super Foam Wave Chan?
原因が究明できたなら恐れることはない。
Now that we've found the cause, there's nothing left to hold us back.
あの大きなブラウン管がついているとき、タイムリープは可能になるという解を導けると思う。
We can safely conclude that time leaping is possible when, and only when, that television is on.
さっき中断された最終調整も含めてさ、もう一回は実験が必要じゃね？
We should probably test it, right? And there's still the final check of the phone wave to do.
そうね。岡部、
You're right, Okabe.
なんだ
What?
もう一度下に行ってあのブラウン管をつけてきて。
Go downstairs and turn that TV back on.
クリスティーナよ。それは実に面白い冗談だな。それに対する俺の答えは
That's hilarious, Christina. Allow me to dub that.
ミッションインポッシブルだ。
Mission impossible. I'm not going back down there. My head still hurts from last time. Next time I doubt I'll make it out alive.
いいからさっさと行きなさいよ。
Whatever, just go already.
Kurisu orders me with a sour look. It's like I'm the assistant here.
あんたならできるって。さっきだってすごい発見してきたでしょ。
If anyone could do it, it's you. You made an amazing discovery just now, didn't you?
Oh, very nicely manipulated there, Kurisu. Very well played.
常習よ。お前、この俺を偉大なマッドサイエンティストだと認めているか？
Assistant mine. Have you finally recognized my greatness as a mad scientist?
いいえ。
No.
Ah.
ぐほう、即答とかひどす。
Damn, that was harsh. It was hilarious, but it was harsh.
しまった。おだてて頑張らせるなら、ここははいって言っておくべきだった。
Oh, whoops. I was supposed to flatter him so he'd feel like going, right?
というわけで、はい。
Yes, you're an amazing mad scientist.
遅いわ。
It's too late.
リフターの代替装置が見つかった今、タイムリープマシンは 99% 出来上がってる。
Anyway, now that we've found the lifter, the time leak machine is 99% complete.
Kurisu's expression suddenly turns serious, but I can see the hunger in her eyes and the flush of excitement on her cheeks. She knows that we cannot stand on the threshold of a new age of science, and she cannot resist the lure of the unknown. She's a true scientist, no doubt about it.
このラボの夢でしょ、タイムマシンは。
It's your dream, isn't it? To invent a time machine?
Our dream. I've never really thought about it that way. But she's right. My hands are shaking. Not from fear of Mr. Braun, but from excitement.
この俺の夢は時空を意のままに操り、これまでの支配構造をぶち壊すこと。そしてそこに新たな混沌を。
I will become the undisputed Lord of Time. With that power, I will shatter the system and chaos will rule.
岡部、
Okabe.
Kurisu interrupts my speech.
私は法王院じゃなくて、岡部の意見が聞きたい。
I wasn't asking Hoin Kiyoma. I was asking Okabe.
She spears me with her gaze. Yeah, that look that says, do as you're fucking told. Very appropriate, actually. Best way to get him on board. I meet it head on. After a few moments, I feel my mouth curve into a smile.
上等だ。すべて俺に任せるがいい。
I'll do it. Leave it to me. With that, I head downstairs. A cracked skull and an empty wallet are a small price to pay for science. Kurisu and Daru send me off with applause for some reason. Maya is the only one who looks worried, but I pat her head in reassurance. You get the old pat heads, don't worry, it's going to be fine. When I get downstairs, Scissorhara and the chipmunk are sitting side by side on the bench outside.
ウィス。
Sup?
Naya gives me a quick bow, then hides behind Scissorhara.
店長、さっきのでめちゃくちゃ機嫌悪くなっちゃってさ。今ないと退避中。
That shaking upstairs put the boss in a bad mood. Nai and I are waiting it out.
Damn, now I really don't want to go in there.
さっき思いっきりごっちんされてたけど、大丈夫？
Are you okay? Dad hit you pretty hard.
この俺の世界遺産級の価値がある頭脳をよりによって殴るとはね。あの一撃により一体何億個のニューロンが死に絶え、人類の未来に多大な損失を被ったことか。
I'll have you know that my brain is more valuable than the Mona Lisa. Your father may have set humanity back 100 years by wiping out my brain cells. Very confident, this guy, has to be said.
それは惜しい人を亡くしたな。
Such a regrettable loss. Scissorhara clasps her hands in solemn prayer. I'm not dead, just my brain cells.
ごめんなさい。お父さんがひどいことして。
I'm sorry. Daddy did something wrong.
こんな衝動ですね。なんと人間的によくできた娘なのだ。
Chipmunk, what a gentle heart you have. I can't believe she's Mr. Braun's daughter.
アンドゥルナ、俺も店長には迷惑をかけたし、
I suppose I share some of the blame. Your father and I are even. Nai smiles slightly at my words of comfort. Now then, part-time warrior, I have a request of you. I need you to distract Mr. Braun for about 5 seconds. Scissorhar's eyes start to shine. You mean seduce him? She flexes her bicep for some reason. Go on, touch it. She insists, so I poke it. It's just as hard as her confidence suggests. Yeah, she's got better biceps than me. I mean, I can't really show. That's the best I can get, and it's not that strong. Yeah, check me out. Check out my fucking guns, me. Fucking been down there lifting, mate. That's not enough to wash the taste from my mouth of what I just said. She's probably stronger than me. But I don't understand what flexing has to do with seduction. Nobody said anything about seduction. It doesn't matter how you do it. Ah, Lukaku.
You and Mayumi-chan don't go places together. You're both lab members, and I heard you were child of France, so I thought... I'm sorry if I misunderstood. P.S. I did 30 practice swings with Samidare.
Yep, it sounds like I'm on the path to the bad ending here, but never mind. Not much I can do about it now, it's too late.
I'm not much of a warrior if I can't handle that. Besides, you said you'd help me search for my father, right? I'm only returning the favor.
I see. Then I'll leave it in your capable hands.
Okie dokie. Scissorha, don't be mean to Daddy, okay? Don't worry, I won't be mean.
Indeed. I want to complain that he's the one being mean, but I just said we were even, so I refrain.
Wait here, Nai.
The chipmunk nods. When we enter the store, we find Mr. Braun cleaning up the pieces of the broken CRT. When our eyes meet, another vein pops in his forehead. If you came to apologize, I'll listen. But your rent's going up, understand? I'm sorry about what happened. I overreacted. As a token of apology, my lab's representative, Amane Scissorha, would like to present you with a gift.
Boss, get ready.
With a vigorous shout, which in no way seems appropriate for seduction, Scissorha whips off her jacket and...
Yeah!
throws it in Mr. Braun's face. Mwah! I can see her bra. No, wait, that's not a bra, but a tight tank top that leaves her midriff bare. Yes, Scissorha shows no signs of embarrassment as she rushes Mr. Braun. She slips behind him, grabs her coat, and pulls it tight against his face.
Akami Ritsuro, now's your chance.
Now wait just a second. Is this your idea of seduction? It looks like you're trying to suffocate him.
Hurry!
Mr. Braun flails his arms, trying to escape Mr. Scissorha's restraint. There's huge difference in strength between the two. It's only a matter of time before he shakes Scissorha off. Well done, warrior! Your heroism will be remembered. Realising that the only choice to go for it, I dash to the counter, grab the remote, and switch on the 42-inch CRT. After about 2 seconds, an image appears on the giant screen. At the same time, the ceiling starts shaking. Kurisu activated the phone wave, name subject to change, with perfect timing.
It's shaking again! Akabe Rintaro, what's going on?
Did she really take off her clothes without knowing why? You're a lifesaver, part-time warrior! If you can, keep him restrained for 10 more seconds! During that time, I escape from the store. Outside, Nai is following earthquake drill procedure, crouching while protecting her head. I ignore that and look up to the second floor. At exactly the same time, Kurisu appears in the window and gives me a happy thumbs up. But a second later, she blushes, shoots me a glare, and disappears inside as if nothing happened. What's with her attitude? I'm risking my life here! In any case, the experiment was a success. The 42-inch CRT was the key, as I suspected. Now, how do I explain this to Mr. Braun? I don't want him to kick us out of the building. Perhaps I shouldn't have left it to Suzuha. I timidly peek into the store to gauge the situation.
Come on, boss! Give me back my jacket!
Suzuha is there, fidgeting in her tank top as Mr. Braun glares down at her. Shut up! I'm confiscating this!
You pervert!
You're the pervert, throwing your shirt in my face like some kind of dancer. That was pretty kinky. Gotta remember to thank Akiba after I kill him.
Kinky? Don't say things like that. It's gross.
Anyway, you can work like that for the rest of the day. Go stand out front and use that flat tummy of yours to attract customers. Twat. Yeah, fuck you too, Mutt Braun.
I'll tell Nai on you!
Who's she gonna believe? You or her old man?
Damn!
No problems here. Suzuha's seduction strategy worked. I guess. Mr. Braun, what a guy. A little while later, I'm lying on the sofa watching high school baseball, and I'm listening as well to Mayashi using her sewing machine. Kumamoto and Aichi are locked in a fierce struggle for the playoffs. Just then, the click-clack of the sewing machine in the lounge suddenly stops.
Akarin, can you come here?
She motions to me while holding the costume. What does she want? I walk over to her.
Can you hold this for me? Spread it out like thwap.
Mayashi, say thwap again.
Thwap.
No, no, no. Fucking way I'm reading that. Stop it already, perv. I follow Mayuri's directions and spread the costume out by the sleeves. She inspects it from a few paces away. It's hard to believe, given her usual ditziness, but Mayuri is very serious about her art. That's why cosplayers value her costumes so highly. The costume I'm holding now is custom made for Lukaku. I thought Lukaku was against it, but I guess Mayuri managed to persuade her.
Okay, thanks.
Mayuri looks tired. She's been working all night. But that doesn't dim the brightness of her satisfied smile.
Finished!
And I'm going to do a quick save, now that I've dealt with the scene involving my best girl seducing Braun. And I did see it coming, Queen. I'm still not reading it out. It's done?
Yep, I finished before Chris-chan. We were racing.
負けたわ、マユリ。お見事ね。
You win, Mayuri. Congratulations.
Damn you, assistant. She treats me and Daru like garbage, but Mayuri gets the sisterly touch.
でも、こっちももう終わりよ。
Actually, I'm just about finished too.
Kurisu connects the two cards she's holding.
完成。
Done.
Celebration is in order. But nobody cheers.
It's a tie.
Man, I'm tired. I want Faris' turn to comfort me. Honestly, I don't feel like cheering either. And it's not because I'm tired. We worked around the clock for 3 straight days to finish the time leak machine. But now that it's complete, I realise that part of me never truly believed it would happen. I feel my enthusiasm cooling rapidly, the fire quenched by one stark question. What do we do with it? I look at Kurisu. She, too, seems less than enthused.
私たち、ひょっとすると、とんでもないものを作っちゃったかもしれない。
We may have created a monster here.
I look at the improved foam wave. Name subject to change. Again. The biggest change is the headgear attached to the X68000. It looks like something out of a low-budget cyberpunk movie. Made by CD Projekt Red. Released on multiple platforms earlier this year and flopped. Low-budget cyberpunk. Fortunately, we don't need nerve jacks or brain chips for it to work. You just put it on and let the sensors do the rest. Why don't we decide what to call it first?
Heavenly Express.
I vote Heavenly Express.
電話レンジサードエディションバージョン 1.00
Foamwave 3rd Edition version 1.00.
Silly hat Foamwave-chan.
No consensus.
あんたたちって本当に能天気ね。
You guys have too much free time.
クリスティーナは危険か?
Does that mean you're abstaining from the vote?
タイムリープマシン。
Time leap machine.
これはひどい
That's terrible.
何よ、シンプルイズベストでしょ。この2日間、岡部だってそのネーミングで呼んでたし。
Come on, simple is best, right? I mean, that's what Akabe's been calling it for the past 2 days.
助手はネーミングセンスゼロのようだ。
Looks like my assistant has zero naming sense.
中二病丸出しのあんたに言われたくない。
I don't want to hear that from a Chunibu headcase like you.
おおまさかマキセ氏が中二病って言葉を知ってるとはやるじゃん
Oh, so Makisashi knows the word Chunibu. I sense your otaku level is quite high.
たまたまだから勘違いしないで。
I heard it from a friend. I have no idea where it comes from.
A bald-faced lie. She should just confess to being an astronaut. Kurisu meets my grin with an icy glare.
マユリ、最終決定権者としてどれか一つ選んでくれ。
It's up to you, Mayuri. Choose one. Whenever the lab is divided in the name, the right to decide belongs to Mayuri.
タイムリープマシーンがいいと思います。
I think time leap machine is fine.
帽子付き電話レンジちゃんとね、すごく迷ったけど。
Super hat phone wave chan is close though.
マユシのことだからそうなると思ったぞな。
Somehow I knew she'd say that.
だから言ったでしょ、シンプルイズベストだって。マユリはよくわかってる。
Like I said, simple is best. Mayuri gets it.
I want to object, but it's an unwritten rule not to complain once Mayuri's made a decision.
では、タイムリープマシンで決定とする。
Very well. Time leap machine it is.
助手、全員にわかるように、このタイムリープマシンの仕組みについてレクチャーしてくれ。
Assistant, explain for us all how the time leap machine works. I know the basics, but I want to hear details. Kurisu nods and stands in front of the whiteboard.
一言で言うと、これは記憶をデータ化してリング特異点を通過させ過去へ飛ばす装置。
In short, this device converts memories to data and sends them to the past.
電話レンジには偶然にもタイターが語ったタイムマシンとほぼ同じ機能が備えられていた。
Let's begin with what we all know. By free coincidence, the phone wave is able to produce ring singularities, much like John Titus' time machine.
リング特異点を生み出し、そのトンネルを通って過去へと36バイトプラスアルファのデータを転送することができる。
Through the ring singularity, we are able to send up to 36 bytes of data to the past.
局所場して、つまり過去のどこへ到達するかについては携帯電話に限定することでクリアした。
The signal can only be received by phones. While that does limit the range of effects, it also removes an element of uncertainty from the equation.
D メールと違って今回は電話をかける形にしたから、メールアドレスじゃなくて電話番号によって局所場指定することになる。
Unlike D-mails, memory data is sent in the form of a phone call, so we will be using a phone number, not an email address, to set the destination.
生み出されたリング特異点の超重力を安定させ裸にするための電子注入装置。リフターの役割は開花の42型ブラウン管がそれを担ってる。
The ring's singularity is made naked and stable by a device known as a lifter. In our case, that's the 42-inch CRT downstairs.
She's explained the basics. Next she'll explain the modifications she made to turn the phone wave, name subject to change, into a time leap machine.
電話レンジには新たにヘッドギアを接続した。
The phone wave now has headgear attached.
これによって側頭葉、正確に言うと海馬の CA3 に蓄積されている記憶の神経パルスパターンを操作するの。
This headgear records the nerve impulses in the temporal lobe of the brain, specifically the CA3 region of the hippocampus, where memories are stored.
その解析データは VR 技術を用いて神経パルス信号から電気信号へとエンコードしデータ化される。
Then using VR technology, we encode the nerve impulses into electrical signal data.
データ容量はおよそ 3.24 テラだお。
It comes out to approximately 3.24 terabytes. 3.24 terabytes? It's less than I expected. We're talking about the entirety of a person's memories.
ちなみにこのデータにはあらかじめ次元式のデコードプログラムを仕掛けておく。
By the way, we'll set it up so data decodes automatically after a certain amount of time.
これはプログラムに詳しい人なら誰でもできるものよ。橋田にプログラムを作ってもらった。
Anyone well versed in programming can do this. I had Hashida make the code.
この電気信号データをネットを通してフランスにあるセルンの LHC へと転送。
Anyway, next we send the memory data through the net to the LHC in France.
This building is a direct line to Sern for some reason, so we can transfer data at insanely high speeds.
3.24 テラのデータを転送するのにかかる時間は
How long does it take to send 3.24 terabytes of data?
直通回線は1本だけじゃなくて64本が束になってるんだ。だから64分割して並列に送れば
We have 64 direct lines in parallel, so if we send it in 64 parts,
だいたい45秒ぐらいでいけると思われ。
it should have loaded about 45 seconds. That's pretty fast. Yeah, only pretty fast. It's not insanely fast. It's pretty fast.
LHC を遠隔操作してミニブラックホールを作ったら、その周辺で生み出される超重力による無限圧縮を利用してデータを36バイトまで圧縮する。
Next, we hijack the LHC, create a mini black hole, and use that black hole's supergravity to compress the data into 36 bytes.
3 terabytes is about 3 trillion bytes. Compressing that into just 36 bytes. That's one hell of a squeeze. It's also one hell of a reduction in quality. You'll go from 4K resolution to less than 144p.
圧縮にも時間がかかるのか
Will the compression take long?
こっちは一瞬。何しろブラックホールの力使ってるからだいたい23ミリ秒でいける。
It's practically instantaneous. 23 milliseconds or thereabouts. We're using a black hole after all.
ちなみにバイナリデータの超圧縮はミニブラックホール周辺でのみ有効よ。そこから離れた時点でデータは勝手に解凍を始めてしまう。
By the way, the compression only holds in the immediate vicinity of the black hole. Once the data leaves that area, it will begin to decompress on its own.
解凍までにかかる時間も圧縮時と同じ23ミリ秒。
This too takes about 23 milliseconds.
その間に LHC からこのペケロッパを経由して電話レンジまで戻さないといけない。
It has to make it back to the X68000 and into the phone wave within that window.
ま、36バイトプラスアルファ程度のデータなら楽勝で間に合うを。
It's only 36 bytes. Shouldn't be a problem.
クリスティーナ続けろ
Continue, Christina.
タイムリープマシン側では起動と同時にカーブラックホール効果が発生してリング特異点が生成されてる。放電現象が発生したら LHC から36バイトプラスアルファまで圧縮したデータを戻し、
While the data is being compressed, we use the phone wave to generate a curving singularity. When the electron discharge phenomenon occurs, we take the 36-byte data, patch it in,
リング特異点内を通り抜けさせる。
and send it to the past.
この辺は電話レンジとやることは同じ。
This part is just like a D-mail.
データはタイマーに入力しておいた時間分を遡り、過去の携帯電話へとつながる。
The data travels to the specified time, where it arrives at the recipient's phone.
リング特異点を通り抜けて過去の携帯電話に到達する頃には23ミリ秒が経過してデータは自動的に解凍されているはず。
By now, 23 milliseconds should have passed, so the data will be fully decompressed.
解凍と同時にデコードプログラムが展開して電気信号から神経パルス信号に戻す。
Next, the decoding program runs, converting the data back into nerve impulse signals.
受信先の携帯電話に到達すると神経パルス信号は送話口から 0.02 アンペアほどの微弱な放電現象となって発せられるの。
These signals are discharged from the phone's earpiece at approximately 0.02 amperes, a pretty weak charge.
これが携帯電話を耳に当てている受信者のこめかみ付近に放射されるわけ。
If the recipient has the phone to their ear, they should go straight into shot into the brain.
受信者が電話の呼び出しに出るのが前提だな
Assuming he answers him phone.
でなければ記憶の転送は失敗に終わる。まあこの場合は特にデメリットは何もないわ。コピーデータが消滅するだけだから。
If he doesn't, the transfer fails. Unfortunately, we lose nothing but the copy of that memory data.
メールではなく電話をかけることにした理由は
Why a phone call instead of an email?
携帯電話が受信者のこめかみ付近にあることでデータを受信者の側頭葉に送り込みやすくなるから。
Because we need the recipient to put the phone to his ear, otherwise the signals won't reach the temporal lobe. She indicates the back of her head.
人間のこめかみ周辺には大脳前頭葉と大脳側頭葉が位置してるんだけど、最初に言った通り側頭葉は海馬傍回があって記憶を貯蓄する場所なの。
In this area, you have the frontal lobe and temporal lobe of the brain. As I explained before, the hippocampus where memories are stored is inside the temporal lobe.
そこに送信者の全記憶の塊である神経パルス信号が携帯電話から放射される。これで記憶の上書きは完了。
The phone sends out electrical impulses that pass through the temporal lobe and into the hippocampus, overriding the recipient's memories.
同時に携帯電話からは前頭葉を刺激する神経パルス信号も出すわ。これ重要。
At the same time, the phone sends impulses that stimulate the frontal lobe as well. This is important.
前頭葉から側頭葉へはトップダウン記憶検索信号というのが発信されてる。これは記憶を思い出すときに発信される信号。
Remember that the frontal lobe is responsible for sending retrieval signals to the temporal lobe. This is how you remember things.
前頭葉を刺激する神経パルスを放射することで、このトップダウン記憶検索信号を意図的に発信させる。
By stimulating the frontal lobe, we force it to send retrieval signals key to the new memory data.
これによって送信者から送られた全記憶を受信者に強制的に思い出させるという作用が発生する。
Thus, the recipient recalls all of those memories as if they were his own,
未来の記憶を思い出すのよ。
which, of course, they are, or will be in the future.
それに必要な時間は1秒に満たない。
This happens in less than a second.
結果、受信者は送信者と全く同じ記憶を持つ状態となり、タイムリープは完了。
Now the recipient has the same memories as the sender. The time leap is complete.
例えば、送信者と受信者の時間差が1週間ある場合、受信者は1週間後の未来までに自分が体験した記憶を思い出すことになるわけ。
If the recipient data came from 1 week in the future, the recipient will remember that week as if he experienced it firsthand.
注意すべきなのは、意識や人格は転送しないということ。その2つは受信者に依存する。
We need to be aware, though, that consciousness and personality aren't transferred. Both of those depend on the recipient.
おっぱいに例えて教えてくれ。
Explain it with boobs.
お？
Boobs? Kurisu dissolves into a blushing, stammering mess. Looks like it's up to me to answer Dara's question. Not with boobs, obviously.
現在のダルの記憶を小学生の頃のダルへと転送したとする。
Let's say we send your memories to you in grade school.
今のダルは2次元にも3次元にも無機物にも燃えられる変態だが、小学生時代はまだまだ無邪気な鼻垂れ小僧だったはず。
Right now, you're some kind of omnisexual pervert who thinks animated objects are hot. But in elementary school, you were still an innocent child.
小学校時代の僕はそれは真面目なクソガキでしたが何か。
I was a boring little bastard who did nothing but study. What of it?
つまり記憶は今の19歳の変態ダルのものだが、意識、人格はその真面目なクソガキのままとなる。
Basically, that little bastard would suddenly have all your perverted memories, but his personality wouldn't change.
見た目は子供、頭脳は大人。な名探偵は成立しないということだ。
It's not like you become that famous detective with the looks of a child and the brains of an adult.
なんだつまらん。
What? Oh, that sucks. This isn't like the time leaping you see in sci-fi novels. We aren't yet capable of transferring personality and consciousness.
携帯がブラックホールとホワイトホールのような役割を果たすから、記憶を送れるのは自分が携帯を持ってる時期の範囲内になる。
Since you need a phone to retrieve the signal, you can only send memories to the times you had one.
注意すべきなのは、送信者と受信者は同一人物でなければならないということ。
We also need to make sure that the sender and recipient are the same person.
例えば過去の自分ではなく親や友達が代わりに出てしまった場合、神経パルス信号はその親や友達に向けて放射される。
If someone besides your past self, your parents, or a friend, for instance, answers the phone, then the nerve impulse signals will be projected into their brain instead.
そうなると親や友達の体に送信者の記憶が上書きされてしまう。下手をすると重大な人格障害が起きるかもしれない。
If that happens, your memories could override theirs, which could obviously cause severe damage to their psyche.
Kurisu ends her explanation and takes a short breath. The lab falls into silence. I exchange glances with Kurisu and Daru. I look at Miyuri, but her expression is blank. I guess it was too complicated for her.
それで
So, I clear my throat. It's time for the $1 million question.
どうする？
What do we do with it?
どうするって？
Do with what?
タイムリープマシンの扱いについてだ。
The time leap machine, of course. What do we do with it? For once, my assistant has nothing to say. I already know she fears we created a monster. Honestly, I feel the same way. After a few moments, Kurisu finally speaks.
私たちの手に負える代物じゃないのは確かよ。一番無難なのは研究機関に譲渡して国家プロジェクト扱いにしてもらうことね。
It's too much for us to handle, that's for sure. The safest thing would be to hand it over to the government for professional research.
I could tell that she's not pleased to have reached this conclusion. She obviously would prefer to experiment within this technology. After all, it's humanity's first time machine. We've finally taken our first steps towards godhood. I'm sure that the nations around the world would pay billions for just one look at our machine. The possibilities that it represents are limitless.
実感が湧かないな。
It just doesn't feel real.
マヨシーもわかないよ。
Mayoshi doesn't get it.
いや、マユシは何も手伝ってないからっしょ。
That's because you didn't work on it, Mayashi.
そうだったね。
Oh, right.
岡部の意見はちなみに法王院じゃなくて岡部の意見ね。
What about you, Akabe? And I mean you, not Hoin Kiyoma.
I agree with Kurisu that the time leap machine is dangerous. On the other hand,
実験してみたい気持ちもある。
I want to experiment. I state my honest feelings, and Kurisu gasps.
だが実際にタイムリープを行うには問題が多すぎる。
But there are still questions we need to answer. This is unknown territory, not just for us, but for all of humanity.
誰がタイムリープするんだ？
Ah, cool. Enter the home stretch of the chapter, apparently. Well, this seems shorter than chapter 4. Who will time leap? I look to each of the lab members in turn. Daru quickly looks away. Mayuri's expression is blank. Kurisu stares right back at me.
誰って決めるのは難しい。
It's hard to choose.
僕はパス。
I'll pass. Not a single person here wants the honour of being history's first time traveller. Everyone, except for Mayuri, is probably thinking about what could go wrong. What if the time leap was to fail?
セルンのタイムマシンみたいにジェリーマン化する可能性はゼロよ。
It's not like Sern's time machine. The possibility of becoming a jellyman is zero.
このマシンで送るのはデータであって実物じゃないんだから。
This machine sends data, not the real thing.
タイムリープに対する先入観にとらわれないで。
Don't let your preconceptions influence your decision.
まるで意識そのものをカット&ペーストするように思われるかもしれないけど、
You might say it's like a cut and paste of your brain.
そうじゃなくてあくまでもコピー&ペーストなの。しかも記憶だけよね。
Actually, it's more like a copy paste, and it's just your memories.
オリジナルが消えることはない。
The original doesn't get erased.
That's a very easy to understand example, but that's not the problem. Time flows in a straight line from past to present to future. At least that's how most humans see it. This raises several questions.
過去へ転送したデータが何らかのミスでフラクタル構造化してしまう可能性はある。
What if there's an error somewhere and the data itself gets fractalized?
もし仮に俺が1時間前へタイムリープしたとして
Let's say I send my memories an hour into the past.
フラクタル構造化によりスカスカになった記憶データが1時間前の俺の脳にぶち込まれるかもしれない。
My memories will be replaced by fractalized data. In other words, data full of tiny holes.
それは一種の記憶喪失と同じ状態になりかねないのでは。
Couldn't that cause memory loss?
かもね。
I suppose.
もしそうなった場合、その1時間後には現在に到達することになる。その時1時間遡った記憶喪失の俺と現在の俺が俺の脳で競合するわけだ。
1 hour later, we arrive once again at the present. At that time, the me who lost his memories an hour ago and the current me conflict in my brain.
どちらのデータが生き残る？
Which data set survives?
理屈で考えれば1時間前にコピーが移された時点で今も変化するから。
Logically, the present should change as soon as you send your memories to the past. The conflicting current me disappears then.
それはつまりコピー&ペーストではないということにならないか。
So then, it's not a copy-paste at all, is it?
わからない。未だかつて時間を超越した前例なんて一つもないから。
I don't know. No one's ever experienced time travel before.
D メールでは世界は改変後に沿って再構成された。
When we send a D-mail, the world is reconstructed based on the change we made to the past. I'm the only one who's aware of this, however.
タイムリープしてどうなるかはわからないのよ。
We don't know what happens when you time leap.
タイターが言うように多世界解釈ならタイムリープした時点で別の世界線に分岐する可能性と同じ世界線のまま時間だけを遡る可能性が同時に存在することになる。
If it's the many worlds interpretation like Titus said, then the instant you time leap creates two possibilities. One, where you shift back to another world line, and one where you travel back in time on the same world line.
と同時に現在の岡部が消えない可能性の世界線も当然存在しているわけで、おそらくこの現在はそれに該当することになると思う。
Of course, there must also be a world line where the current you doesn't disappear. That would likely correspond to the present that we are experiencing right now. But that's the only if the many worlds interpretation holds in the first place.
お前はタイターの言うことは信じていないのではなかったのか。
I thought you didn't believe what Taita had to say.
可能性の話をしている。タイターはこの際どうでもいい。
I'm talking hypothetically. Taita doesn't matter right now.
コペンハーゲン解釈ならあらゆる状態が波動関数として空間に広がっていることになる。そして観測者が観測した瞬間、どちらかに状態が収束する。
If it's the Copenhagen interpretation, then every possible state propagates through space as a wave function. When a particular state is observed, the remaining stress and states collapse and the particle state is mixed. But precise observation is impossible.
観測者は誰かというのも問題だ。
The problem is who the observer is in this case.
第三者じゃね？僕とかマユシとか。
Wouldn't it be a third party, like me or Mayoshi?
そうとは限らない。観測者は俺かもしれないし、それ以外の誰かかもしれないし。
Not necessarily. It might be me. It might be someone else. It could even be God. To begin with, the Copenhagen interpretation and the many worlds interpretation are both micro-scale theories used to explain quantum interactions. No one knows whether they can be applied to humans or to the world at large. Without my personal experiences with reading Steiner. If reading Steiner was the sort of power I think it is, then the world line model is correct.
結局は意識はどこにあるという問題に行き着く。
In the end, we arrive at the question of where is the self.
このタイムリープマシンが転送するのはあくまで記憶だけ。それは間違いない。
This time leap machine only sends memories. That I guarantee.
転送された時点で今も再構成されるんじゃね？
Won't the present be reconstructed at the moment of transfer?
オカリンはリーディングシュタイナーでそれと同じような現象に遭遇したわけっしょ？
That's what happens with Okarin's reading Steiner, right?
D メールの場合はそれで納得できた。あれは過去にメールで干渉する行為だというのが明確だったからな。
That makes sense. Where D-mails are concerned, when we send a D-mail, we're obviously interfering in past events.
しかしタイムリープは自分の記憶を過去へ送り込む行為であり、干渉するかしないかは明確にしていない。
But time leaping is different. All you do is send your memories to the past, which isn't the same thing as sending a targeted D-mail.
未来の記憶を思い出した1時間前の俺が因果に干渉するのかしないのかはその状況になってみなければわからないはず。
Whether the me who suddenly remembers 1 hour into the future will, in fact, change the past is something we can't know until it happens.
頭がこんがらがってきた。
I'm getting confused.
なんかもう宗教の分野じゃね？魂はどこにあるかって話しよう。
It sounds like we're talking about the soul. Isn't that a religious question?
待って、あんたたちは勘違いしている。
Wait, you guys are missing something.
人格と意識は1時間前の岡部も今の岡部も何も変わらない。
1 hour isn't enough time for your personality to change. You should be the same person you were 1 hour ago that you are now.
1時間分の記憶を持っているかいないか。違いはそれだけよ。
The only difference is you'll have an extra hour's worth of memories.
そうなのか本当に？
How can you be so sure?
絶対とは言い切れないけど、何しろ誰も試したことはないんだから。
Well, I can't. Nobody's tried it before. This discussion's going nowhere. Personality and consciousness can't be strictly defined, so it's hard to imagine what might happen.
結局どっち？
So, which is it?
だからわからないの。ここでどれだけうだうだ議論したって全ては予測止まりなんだから。
We don't know. We can only guess the theories all we want, but in the end, we can only guess.
この実験は人類のこれまでの既成概念を崩壊させるものになるかもね。
This experiment may end up shattering preconceptions scientists and philosophers have held for centuries. We won't know until we try. That pretty much sums it up. To make matters worse, the subject must be prepared to risk the damage to their psyche. Kurisu, Daru, and I say no more. We can't solve this problem. This is our limit as scientists. But haven't we accomplished enough already? The time leap machine is itself is worthy of a Nobel Prize. We could sell this dark technology for billions if we so choose. And if we go public with the time leap machine, we can break Sern's monopoly on time travel technology. That's enough. It has to be.
Hey,
Mayuri, who has been observing the discussion with glassy eyes, opens her mouth to speak.
マユシーはね、難しいことはよくわかんないけど、
I have an idea.
例えばね、マユシーの買ってきたバナナをタイムリープさせるのはどうかな。
Why don't we make a banana time leap instead?
マユリったら
Oh, Mayuri.
バナナには人間みたいに脳はないでしょ。
Bananas don't have brains like people do.
そっか、それじゃあダメだね。
Oh, you need a brain, huh?
Miami never changes. The atmosphere in the room is a little more relaxed.
実験はしないでおく。
Let's not experiment.
タイムリープマシンはしかるべき研究機関に託そう。そして世間に公表する。
We'll entrust the time leap machine to a suitable research institution. Then we'll announce it to the world. Thanks to the lightening of the mood, I can finally say what was on my mind. Neither Kurisu nor Darrow jacks. And well, that I think is a very good place for us to consider putting it at an end, because we've just seen another scene. We are inching closer. It looks like we've upgraded the time machine. Now the question is, do we use it, or do we decide to put it aside and leave it for everybody else? We're going to find out in a couple of days when we'll go back on again. It's going to be on the Saturday evening at 8 PM BST, right here on YouTube. Same time, same place, so we can try and get through Chapter 5 into Chapter 6. Well, until then, thank you all of you very, very much for watching. And good night.